Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith and today is Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. And I've got my loyal co-host, Mr. Sonny Conway, with me. How's it going, Sonny?
What's going on, guys? Good morning, everybody.
Oh, it's going good so far. I got my coffee.
Except for Susan. Susan didn't say good morning to me.
Susan
She
didn't
just
say
said
good morning to you.
to Rob and Chad.
Susan says good morning to Chad, Michigan Rob, and left Sonny
good-
right out of the whole situation.
Good morning, anyway, Susan.
And we got our special guest backstage, Mr. Bigfoot Michigan Rob. How's it going? Rob?
Hey, good morning, Chad, Sonny, everybody in chat. Thanks for pulling me out of bed. But as I said earlier, 8 o'clock's not that early, I guess.
It's just waking up early for 8 o'clock is early.
Yeah, I mean, I had to get up. I had to wake up. I had to get into makeup and prep. You know how we do now that we're all big time or podcasters, and it's
hair
that
and
whole
makeup ready.
Yeah, Well, yeah, I did my hair. I put my hat on.
Yeah, me too. I got home from work and I'm like, it's just a hat day. I'm not gonna do anything with my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So early morning here in Michigan, but not as early as sunny out there in California.
As you can see, it's snowing in back of me. So
yeah, I like your.
Yeah,
I like your light you got back there.
Gives it a little pizzazz.
Yep. I need to get some more stuff going on back here. Maybe some laser lights or something. I'm moving this whole.
It's funny.
I was gonna, but I'm waiting for.
No, I was just gonna look it up. Yeah. No, it's funny, man. I have the same background all the time, so man, I gotta start sprucing this up. So, the beginning of the new year, I got some plans to make it look a little more professional, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too. I'm gonna move this. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, but if you looked at it from over there across the room, it looks pretty janky in here. I'm in my kitchen, so I gotta move over into my spare bedroom.
I like Sonny's too, though. Sonny's is classic. It's got that feel like you're in the garage ready to work on a car or something.
It's because we're in the garage where I work on the cars.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, when she gets over there, though, she's going to make it look all studio-like, podcast studio-like.
Yeah, I hope so. Liv says she's going to hook it up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got a girl with some extra stuff. Says she's going to come decorate here in the shop.
Great, cool.
Yeah, she said she's got some podcast stuff ready for you.
Yep.
She's got that sword, right?
Oh, that knife!
I don't know if
she's gonna let me have that. She might though. She's got a the machetes, the old school machetes. It's Jason's. Yeah, it's Jason.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees, right?
Yeah, it's autographed. It's autographed by him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool to have in the shop.
That would be pretty sweet. Those
probably at home. Go ahead.
Those first couple movies were pretty cool with Jason Voorhees. All the first originals are always great.
Right. Then they just keep remaking them and remaking them and remaking them.
Yeah.
This was the last one, we promise.
Yeah. You got Jason's Revenge, the Revenge of Jason. Jason seeks out his mother for revenge. I mean, whatever title, whatever ridiculous title they can make up just to sell $1.
Yep. Jason retired from GM this year, and
that one where Jason's in outer space now. I mean, come on, he's fighting aliens, he's fighting Predator.
Yep. Morning, Michael Haywood.
Hey, Michael.
So, Rob, I guess tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up and how you got to where you're at now.
Yeah, basic beginnings. I grew up Dearborn Heights, Michigan. And
not too far from me.
Not too far. Yeah, I've lived all over Michigan. I'm back here in Dearborn Heights. I had, I had moved back when my dad passed away about 5 years ago to help out my mom, because my mom, don't get me wrong, she can get around, no sympathy, but she can get around. But I felt, hey, it's time to help mom out. And my brother lives pretty close by too, so we just made that decision, as a family, and so we're all close together now, which is cool. And I went to U of M, Michigan there, and
Oh, cool.
go Wolverines, man! I got my Lions. Well, you too, Chad. One win, and now we got our Michigan Wolverines. Hopefully, they can do something here, win that national title.
Yeah, go blue.
So did that, and then it was I was fortunate, man. About my junior year at U of M, I got an apprenticeship before. Like one of those management programs that I got involved with, and I ended up working there for about 20 years. And then,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I lucked out, man. I got in there right out of college, and I had worked there on a week in the summers for my junior and senior year. So as life goes on, I always wanted to go into my own business, and I saved a lot of money. I was married once. I got this after 7 years. I got that itch and said it's time to go. I wanted to be free and start my business because my ex-wife, did not want to do what I wanted to do, and I had to buy in a bar.
Okay.
And I owned that for 13 years. Then I sold that right before COVID hit. So not that I was, any prognosticator, but I lucked out with that and got rid of it. And glad I did because it's pretty much out of business. I mean, it's still open, but it's and that's too bad too because you put 13 years into something, and I'm not going to say I didn't do well when I sold it because I did. But still, it hurts. It hits you in the stomach, kind of a punch in the gut to see something like that just kind of flounder away.
Yeah.
And who knows? It probably would have happened to me as well. I was just lucky.
Got out right at the right time.
Yeah, and then really, after prior to that, and now what I do now. Well, I'll talk about what I'm doing now a little later because it's kind of segues into how I, got involved with podcasting and having a show, and that was back when I had my, my encounter, man.
Yeah.
And then after I had that, which I'll get into, then I started, really researching it and getting into it. Just put out that message that Bigfoot and cryptids and these things, they exist, man. In back of me, I got this sign that says "We Believe," right? And when we do our show, we listen to you genuinely, because we don't discredit anybody's stories or what they have to do. It's a good place where you can come and feel safe. A lot of environments out there today don't provide that. And I know some do, and we're not copying anyone. It's just our personalities. I've seen something. Tex, who I co-host with, has seen lots of things. And I've experienced, some UFO sightings. I've had some paranormal things. So I've had a lot going on in my life. So instead of rambling all over the place, if you like, I can take you down that path how I got where I am. With
that'd be great, man.
Encounter,
Yeah, I'd like to. I'll work up to your encounter for sure. Because it's probably a cool story.
It's pretty cool. A lot of people have heard it, but this is again, you have a different. I recognize a lot of people in chat, but I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard the story. This was about. Exactly. I can tell exactly when it was. It was June 15th of 2018, and me and my girlfriend Cindy, we went to Lake Cadillac in Cadillac, Michigan, and what we were just to do some fishing. Cindy never fished before, and I'm not big. My brother's the big hunter in the family. I'm more of the fisherman, so I wanted to show her how to fish because I thought she'd dig it, and it was something I kind of wanted to do. And ever since I was dating her, I never did that. And I said, look, you gotta learn how to do something that I like, for a change, So
yeah.
So she was cool with that. So ended up renting a boat, a little real small bass boat. Not even, it would sit maybe 6.5 inches out of the water. I mean, it was just good enough for she and I just get in and tool around the lake. Lake Cadillac's a pretty big lake. I don't have the acreage or anything like that. You live in Michigan, Chad, you've probably seen it on a map. But Lake Cadillac's surrounded by a lot of beautiful homes, businesses. It's a cool little community. They got like a nice downtown village, and nice place if you want to retire, I suppose, if you wanted to live up north. And so we're out there casting about, fishing, and no, we're not getting any strikes, no bites. So I travel down the lake and I hit this canal. Now this canal connects to Lake Mitchell, which is a nice sizable lake, not quite the size of Lake Cadillac. But what I liked about it is immediately I noticed not as much built up around it. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of homes. I mean, neighbors could throw rocks at their houses in some sections, but I had drifted down maybe southwest to a bay connected to Lake Mitchell, which is now pretty cool. There was a couple houses, but secluded. And this is backing up to the Huron-Manistee National Forest.
Oh yeah.
So it's deep, it's thick, it's dense, and there was a lot where I was fishing. I was drifting about 90 feet from shore, and there was a lot of inlets with little like creeks and streams that ran back into the forest. So a lot of the forest area was swampy, right? And in fact, there was no beach area. It was like once you were at the wood line, you pretty much walked right into the lake. So again, we're 90 feet from shore, we're drifting, and I'm my girlfriend, she's standing at one side of the boat, I'm at the other, and I'm changing over our bait and our lures on our fishing line. And she says to me, "Hey Rob, I just sounds crazy, but I think someone's throwing rocks at the boat." I'm like, okay, I look up, don't see anything. I kind of dismiss it, like maybe it was some fish jumping around, some small bait fish or whatever.
Now, at this point, your mindset as far as cryptids and stuff like that goes, were you open-minded at this point, or were you?
Well, okay, if we go back, when I was a kid growing up, like everybody, like a lot of people, I won't say like everybody, but the Leonard Nimoy, the show In Search of, Patty film, they did that. And as a kid, though, I was into monsters. Okay. I was into monsters. When I saw the Patterson Gimlin film, I would, as a kid, try to find books on it. Back then, you couldn't find much. Internet wasn't even up. So, you get what you could off TV and find a basic book, how to dummies about Bigfoot, which books like that weren't even out. And I was into ghosts. I was just a very, my mind was, pretty inquisitive, UFOs, aliens.
Cool.
So, but throughout life, though, I would, if a show was on, I'd watch it. I never sat down, even with the introduction of the computer. I never really looked up Bigfoot. I just seen what I seen on TV and went about my business. And that's pretty much it, to be honest with you.
Right. Okay. So you're open-minded and interested in it a little bit.
Yep.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you're getting rocks thrown at the boat.
Rocks are being tossed at the boat. In the beginning, I didn't think, I kind of dismissed it, as I had said. And again, so I get back at the task at hand, which was, getting the lures on the line. She goes, "Rob, a little more. Someone's throwing rocks at the boat." I said, "You see anybody?" And I'm kind of like, I was just irritated because I'm like,
Yeah.
What? No, look, there is 90 feet shoreline woods.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody playing out there. There ain't no kids throwing, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, whatever.
Yep.
So just as I kind of, get a little stern with her, I happen to look up, man. Up. Not towards shore, but like upwards. And I see something dropping out of the sky. And I think maybe this, man, I didn't hear no gunshot go off. This a bird just got shot. But then as I notice, this thing falls. It falls about 12 feet in front of the boat. And when it hits, I can tell it's a rock about the size, a little bit bigger than a baseball, man. It hits the water. Ooh. Boom, a little plunks up. I'm like, holy.
Wow.
From 90 yards?
No, feet.
Oh, feet.
I'm 90 feet, yeah.
Okay. I thought I heard yards.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I said, wow, that'd be hell of a throw at 90 yards, man.
It's Patrick Mahomes throwing stuff at you.
Yeah, he throws it out of the stadium, man. I've seen that video before. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, man, who the hell is this? So I look at the shoreline. I do love telling this story. I tell it maybe twice a year, man. After telling it so many times, and I still get chills thinking about it. I really do, because it was a traumatic experience, and we'll get into that. It was like I refer to it. I'm talking like I just seen it like 3 years ago. Today I would say a creature, but there was this creature standing at the shoreline. He was standing like right at the edge of shore, man, with an arm draped around one of the trees, and he's kind of out over the shore peering at us. And this thing, I swear, you guys, it had to been 9 foot tall.
Hmm.
It had reddish brown hair, draped real long. I mean, the arms seemed to extend to the ground, although they weren't. It was maybe a foot from the ground. This thing was tall. It was, and I'm asphyxiated. I'm just in my mind. And I look at her, and she's like, can't get her eyes off this thing. And I'm thinking, what is that? I immediately know this is no bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was standing. It was reddish. I mean, it looked like human. And what I mean about that is, I was close enough, man, where I seen the face on this thing, and it looked like a person. And I mean, no offense to anybody when I say this, but it looked like a person that had Down syndrome.
Hmm.
The eyes were kind of offset. It had like a flaky gray features. The face was like grayish, kind of wrinkled, and his eyes were offset. His mouth kind of was offset, drooped a little bit. And as I said, it had all this hair, but the front was more tighter hair. But you could see the gray on his chest, and this thing had muscles ripping through it. And so, I'm telling this story. It seems like I've been staring at this forever, but this whole encounter takes probably less than 30 seconds. But what really got me was this. Now, this thing, let's go to the tree. It extends its arms like an airplane. It makes it parallel to the lake and the
Hmm.
shoreline. And it lets out this massive growl, screech, and yell. It was like all in unison. And it was penetrating. Penetrating, in fact, and I've had much discussion with certain people now of what this was, but it seemed like a wake seemed to rush the boat. And mind you, there's no boats around. There's nobody around here at this time. It was pretty much me. Closest boat was maybe 150, 200 yards away at best.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it lets out this screech, this yell. A wake rushes the boat. But here's the thing that really gets me. Well, a couple things that get me. As I explained earlier about the Down syndrome looking person, when it opened its mouth, man, the jaw dropped down quite a bit.
Right.
The mouth extended, and he opened his mouth. It was such an gaping mouth. You could almost fit a softball or even a bowling ball in this thing. It was humongous. And it had a couple of teeth coming down like this. I wouldn't call them fangs, but it's like his scissor teeth. They reminded me of like a dog, right? But obviously proportionate with his head and its size, they were bigger.
Hmm.
And the bottom had like two teeth coming up like this. But other than that, I didn't see any other teeth. But the thing that really scared me the most was when he opened his mouth like that, his whole face got tight, and that light gray turned like a dark gray, and the face metamorphosized. It looked like what I call still today, it looked like a demon. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It looked like something out of Marvel comic book, or seeing one of these stories about, demonic possession with these creatures, the devil. I mean, it looked chillingly horrible. I mean, I thought that the thing I saw first was like odd looking and kind of creepy, but this thing was terrifying looking. And to make matters worse, I hear a splash in the backside of the boat. My girlfriend flipped off and fell in the water.
Oh no.
And yeah, but you guys, when this thing opened its mouth and yelled, I didn't know this then, but talking to other people again, right? I guess I got hit with infrasound or some sort of frequency, because I couldn't move. I was paralyzed for a few seconds. I could turn, but I couldn't turn my body. It was just like frozen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm looking now toward the ocean, the lake shore, I'm seeing everything in a filter, like not black and white, but not true color. It was just my equilibrium was off. I couldn't move, so I'm shaking my head, just trying to shake it, and I finally snap out of it. I turn, get her up in the boat. I'm frantic. She's frantic. She's screaming, crying, man. I'm trying to hold it together, man. Now the scariest, you think that's scary? The scariest part for me was when I looked ashore. This thing's gone.
Ooh.
I don't know where it is.
I got chills.
And
yeah.
Now my head is thinking, is this thing swimming out to get us? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking all these weird things in a matter of minutes. So I speed the boat. I just get out of the boat. I gun it, get out of there. I'm flying out of there. And I don't think I slowed down till I made it all the way back to Lake Cadillac and docked the boat. And on the way back, we're not even talking because, like, I'm flying. I got no time to talk. I'm getting out of there. And I'm still thinking maybe the things, on the bottom of the boat. I mean, I'm thinking, like I said, I'm just thinking crazy thoughts. And dock the boat. We get out. She's freezing. It's the middle of summer. She's cold, obviously from the ride, but I could tell it was more than just the cold. It was goosebumps and just the terror I know I could see in her face. We find the local restaurant or bar which wasn't too far, and we get in there and we go to the back section corner. We find this table right in the corner. There's not too many people in there. And my girlfriend, who doesn't even drink, man, she orders a Bud Light and a shot of Jack Daniels. And she I never seen her drop a drop of liquor in her life. And I order the same. We both do our shot, take a sip of beer. She goes to me, "What the hell you think we saw?" I'm like, "Honey, I don't know. I'm thinking certain things." And she goes, "Bigfoot." Just like that out of her mouth. And she and I never discussed this. At the time, I'd been dating her about 3.5 years. And I'm like, "Really? You think so?" So I was thinking something along that lines too. And then she says, "Well, should we report it to the DNR or the local authorities?" And now you don't know me, but knowing me, I'm like, "No, we'll look like two, idiots. No one's gonna believe that." I'm still grasping whether I believe what I just seen, because it was such a thing that you can't even make up. I mean, it was just that profound. Yeah. So,
right.
I says, "No, let's just go home and think." Yeah, so you want finish out the vacation? She goes, "Hell no." So unfortunately, it cut our trip short, and so we get home, and then we're diving into we barely take off our clothes and change. We're on the computer. I'm on mine. She's on hers, and we're typing in Bigfoot. We're typing all this. Then all these videos pop up, all these different shows, and I don't know what I'm looking for. Neither does she, and half the stuff that I was reading didn't make any sense to me at the time, and so again, we didn't tell anybody. I made mention of it and told my brother, who's a hunter. I said, "You ever see something kind of like this in the woods?" And he's like looking at me like, "No, not really." And I got an interesting story later I can share on that. But he goes, "No, not really." He goes, "No, I think you're right. There ain't no bear or nothing out there, and nothing that he knows of. I don't think there is." And so the thing that makes this whole thing sad, I took a turn for the worse, man. I got in a deep, dark place because exactly 2 months to the day, do I know these dates so good? It was June 15th of 2018, when near the encounter. You know, you guys, my girlfriend died August 15th, exactly 2 months later.
Oh
Oh
man.
wow, I'm sorry to hear that, Rob.
You know, thank you guys. And, you know, before I couldn't tell the story without bawling, you know,
I can imagine. Yeah.
but it was exactly, man, 8 weeks, man. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, you know, we got hit with that stuff. I mean, she had made mention too to me that she was paralyzed, and I'm thinking, man, maybe it tore up her because she wasn't a big girl. She was like 102. She was like 5'2", 102 pounds, little thing, you know.
Wow.
And I'm thinking maybe since I'm bigger, maybe I just fought it off and maybe it killed her. Well, not to get into the autopsy, that wasn't the case. It was actually, you know, she had a heart attack, man, and young kid, younger. I mean, you know, well,
Yeah.
young person, and
Right.
didn't smoke. Like I said, didn't drink, and
Hmm.
so I'm at it for I could do nothing. You know, like I said, I even owned the bar at the time, and I never hardly even went to work. All I did was sit. I sat at home and I just researched on the computer. I didn't want to go back in the woods and look, 'cause I was just too terrified of frankly
Right.
dying.
Yeah.
And you know, so I had my bar manager run the business, and I just you know made sure everything was cool, and I had a great staff, which was awesome. And you know, and that's brings us up until you know today, you know, in 2021, where that's why I do our show Trinity Peer Cryptid Research and my channel
Hmm.
Bigfoot Mystery Rob. Not plugging my stuff, but the thing is, I'm into this, and I want people to know that these things are out there. And again, I have to say this: it's been 3 years. I know that what I seen was had to been like it's not a typical Bigfoot. Half the reports you get, you guys, 90% of these things that don't want nothing to do with us. They're friendly. They're not. This was just something that was just what's the word I'm looking for? Ab
Just abnormal
abnormality,
or something?
abnormal. You know, anomaly. You know,
Anomaly. Yeah.
and but man, so that's why I'm into it
D-
today. You know, and
Do you think that that time when you were standing there and you were kind of like in and out of it and a little bit of a haze, do you think you had any missing time, or was that just a same timeline?
well, I normally say it seemed like I don't know if I missed time, but I do say this, and I've said this before. It seems like time stood still because it
Hmm.
seemed like this was going on for an hour, and it was
Wow.
30 seconds or less. I mean, it just you
Right.
know to take the time for me to snap out and get hurt seemed like forever. It just everything was so slow. Everything slowed down, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it was quite bizarre. I mean, even when my vision was like looking through like some like a filter because I filtered out the color. Then I seen like black and white for a couple seconds. It was just really.
Yeah.
It
I've
was
heard
like
that
almost.
before.
You know, it's almost like you ever have sleep paralysis.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, I've had that before. Well, actually, I started getting that after the encounter. And sleep paralysis is kind of the same thing. You're dreaming, but you're awake.
Yeah.
It's weird, and you can't move for an extent until you snap out of it. Now,
Right.
some people say that's again different subject matter. Some people say that's evil. That's like a demonic force or something. Which, well, great. Now I got demons. I mean, what else do I have going on? But that's a topic I think for another day. But yeah, so it was just very, man. I was out. I was down and out for a long time. It was
Now that you've
terrible.
had time to think about it, can you pinpoint anything that would have brought him to the shoreline to meet with you guys, or do you think that it was just like a coincidence?
Well, so here's the thing: when this all happened, see, YouTube. I didn't really utilize YouTube for doing research or looking up how to fix a toilet or anything like that. Like, hey, YouTube, if you don't know how to do it, look on YouTube, right?
That's right.
I use it basically for just music. I play music. I pipe it through. I like to watch old concerts, right? And I pump it through and watch it on TV if I had a party or something. So it's totally a music outlet for me. And then I'm like, man, I got to get this story out. And then I look, oh, wow, these people are doing videos on Bigfoot. So I did a video on YouTube, right? My very first one. totally hack job, but I just wanted to get it out there, and I did, got it out there, and so I get all these comments. I got like 1,000 comments on this on my channel, and people from Cadillac were telling me that they think there's something out there. And in fact, to get to your question, an older guy was telling me, he goes, Rob, he goes, I've been researching that area. There's something out there, and because when I explained in the video exactly where I was, southwest corner of this bay, he looked it up, he Google mapped it. In fact, he sent me all these pictures of the topography of where all these finger lakes, finger streams. He goes, he's been researching that there. He's found abandoned boats. He goes, Rob, I think that's his main fishing area. I think you disturbed him and you were in his hunting ground.
Whoa.
So that's maybe perhaps one, and he got just ticked off at you. Because typically they don't show themselves to us. Now, what I've learned since then, I've learned that they don't really seek us out or show themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you never hear stories. You hear the story about the Bigfoot crossing the road. Doesn't happen to know that you're coming up the road, you know. That's typically 90% of the stories I hear, right? Not, hey, this guy showed himself, showed aggression. You know, kind of was like, I got the feeling that had he been able to get me, he probably would have, pulled my head off, I mean, that's how intense it was.
Yeah.
And that's why going forward, I thought this Bigfoot was some evil creature. And today, again, 3 years later, I don't believe that. I think they're, hey, I ain't going to call them friendly, but I'm not going to trust them either, right? But they don't.
Right.
To me, they keep to themselves. And then there's another theory. Duke Sullivan, man, he was one of the first guys I reached out to. I didn't know who the hell he was. I was calling him Brian Sullivan 3 years ago. And so when I told him about my encounter, and we talked for hours on it. And then one of his theories is it could have been a rogue, a Bigfoot that got disbanded, got kicked out of his tribe or his clan. And usually they got problems. That's why they get disbanded and they're left on their own. So now they roam by themselves with no family unit, and they get their ornery, they hate the world type of creature. So he's thinking that's perhaps what happened, what I came across. And I get I go through these comments, and I put the video out 3.5 years ago, and I still get new comments, and I get emails. And even when we do our show, people, hey, man, Cadillac, Michigan. In fact, just the other day, there's this channel I go on Facebook. It's pretty cool, especially for people who live in Michigan. The Gumshoe guy, Val Zavala, they just showed some big Bigfoot prints just a couple of weeks ago treading through the snow in Cadillac around the area where I had my encounter. And a lot of people said, man, there's something out there in that area. And just that section. But, that forest goes back deep, too. So that thing can hide wherever it wants to.
Right. And it's protected forest land. You can't build on it.
No. It's like it's like part of the wetlands too, and so
have you gone back there lately?
To be honest with you, I want to. I haven't. Not that I'm scared. It's just that I don't want to go by myself because I'm not that experienced in the woods, man. I'm not a researcher. I'm an enthusiast, and I'm interested in everything. And I've been in the woods a handful of times. If I were to go, I'd have to get somebody to want to go with me, and I'd probably think about going. In fact, if I go, it'd be spring, summer. I'd go. Coming up. But
man, me and Big Willie would go with you for sure. I bet he'd go with us.
Yeah. Something to think about come spring, summer. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Or maybe it might. Well, actually, winter wouldn't be bad either. It'd be easier to find prints, I guess, and we could go in off the highway that led into, instead of going on a boat, go from
the other side.
It's a thought, yeah. Because I seen a guy sent me a video that he took pictures from the road and he walked in toward that area of the cove, and there was pictures, you guys, of like abandoned boats. I mean, now I'm not saying that creature did this, right? But there were literally boats. He showed me 3 pictures of boats that were left there, just up, like people up and left them. And it's like, well, who does that? Let's say that, I'm out being an idiot and I smashed my boat into on the bank, right? And hit a tree or something dumb like that. I'm going to get it towed out of there. And I'm not talking about, a rowboat with with the oars and maybe a little 150 horse motor on it. They were, boats 20 grand, $20,000 probably was the, most expensive one. I mean, they
Okay.
weren't premium, but
Right.
who leaves a boat there? I mean, they were tore up and everything. I'm like, well, that's just coincidence. I don't think that has anything to do with it. But still, it's still creepy nonetheless in the same area.
Right. Man. Yeah, I don't know. That's something I would probably be interested in going up there, especially if you were with me and somebody else was with us or something. I
Yeah.
was actually just up there. I was in Traverse City this past weekend,
Okay.
and I had to drive through Cadillac to get there. And I think it was 55 or something. There's an interstate that goes like through the forest,
Mhm.
and it seems like forever that you don't pass any driveways or anything. It's just
Oh, yeah.
trees both sides of the
Right.
road.
I think 55 loops around back at the bottom of Lake Mitchell too. I'm not for sure, but even if it's not the same interstate, it's just like you had mentioned because I seen this on the video from the road, and it's all tree line. You're not going to pull in anywhere.
Right.
There's no houses, no nothing.
Bobby came in a little bit late, and she wanted to know what it looked like again. It's up in Cadillac, and Rob said that it was about 9 feet tall and had like reddish brown hair or fur, kind of like when you were talking about it. It kind of looked like Chewbacca in my head.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, like
you could pick. Yeah, the hair. Actually, the hair, the way it flowed down like that, yes. But again, the face
was more.
was more like human-like with the Down syndrome. But like I said, you guys, it looked totally different when it opened its mouth and yelled. It looked like I say, I still to this day say demonic, but that's the best description I can give it. You're like one of those African kabuki masks that sometimes
Oh,
they
yeah.
wear if you ever see. I mean, it was just totally out of this world looking.
And it looked like he meant business. Like he wasn't there to say hi.
I tell you what, that yell, that roar, to scream all in unison like that was it'd scare anybody. And in fact, a good friend of mine, a couple months ago, because he's a Bigfoot researcher and he's had quite a few encounters, and he has captured a lot of audio. And he played an audio for me, like I said, a few months back, because I've tried to find that audio too on YouTube. I can't find anything that replicates this, but this guy had something that when I heard it, he could tell by the look on my face, it like turned white. He was like, I said, man, that's pretty close. And I think, and this was in somewhere in Oklahoma. I don't know exactly where he got the audio, which is pretty much a big Bigfoot hotspot too. So,
Yeah, I actually go up to the Huron National Forest, but I go to the east side of the state. I go to over by Mayo and Rose City area.
okay.
I don't know if you've ever been over there.
I've been through, I haven't.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I grew up, going up north. Every time we would go up north, that's where we would go. There's a cabin in between Mayo and Rose City right on 33 that we go to.
Okay.
And I've never, I've opened my mind up a lot to this since the last few times I've been up there. So growing up, I never really had my eyes open to anything or my ears open to anything like that. I was just on my four-wheeler and had to get from one point to the next, and I never really thought about maybe there's some other stuff out there with me. So,
it's fun. It's a good point you bring up too about that, because I was never like that. Now I'm like that. I've been in the woods too often since then, to be honest with you. But today I kind of know what to look for. But it's funny though, my brother, who avid hunter over 20 years, he believes my story. He don't think I'm full crap or anything. He said, man, you probably, he in fact watches the show and he's kind of getting a little more into it, because he was telling me some things that just happened to him while he was in the woods hunting, but he never thought nothing of it. You see, if you're not looking for it, man, you ain't gonna. It could be 10 feet in front of you, and you're not gonna see it, right? From what I've been told, I'm not talking from experience, but certain reputable people have told me that, like Duke and a few others, William Lunsford and people like that. And so, anyways, my brother, he lines up a deer, gets it in his sights, shoots it. He knows he hits it good. he's tracking this deer, and he's following the blood trail, and through the woods, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden, the blood trail stops at this tree, and he can tell that the deer had fallen because he's pretty good. He's been doing this a long time. He pretty much knew. He could see the outline where it laid down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking around, like, where in the world does this thing go? I mean, he knows it stopped right here. So he's telling me this story, and I'm starting to think, okay. And then my nephew happened to be with my brother, and he says, "Hey, Dad, check this tree out. Right at the base of the tree where the deer had fallen, there's blood spatter, man. It goes from the base of the tree up about 7-8 feet and then stops." So my theory was maybe that was a Bigfoot grab that went up the tree, hit a branch, and swung out. And God just moved out. I mean, I don't know how if they do that or not, but that's the first thing that came into my mind. I mean, where else could it be? Because it's unusual to see blood go like 7-8 feet up the tree, right? Like someone drug it up the tree and then it's just boom.
Very unusual, I would imagine.
A mountain lion can do that, but it can't go nowhere with it. It's not going to jump tree to tree with a deer. But
right.
And it would take it a minute too. It's not something that would happen fast.
Yep. You know, it's a pretty dense area. I could see where it could probably, from the pictures, because you snapped off a picture, and I'm thinking, damn. I just wish you would have looked around, you know, where the deer fell, and I wish you would have looked around that area to see if you saw any prints or anything. That's so he didn't think to do anything like that, and maybe not. Maybe could have seen something, you know, imprinted into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So that was unusual. That's an unusual story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have anything like that in Michigan.
No,
we not that I know of. I mean, it have to be a pretty big mountain lion.
Yeah, I don't think, you know. And I don't know if you know, Chad, I'm not even aware of if mountain lions are even in Cadillac. Or not Cadillac, he was in Clare. I'm sorry, Clare, Michigan. My brother lives in Clare.
I'm pretty sure the official word from the DNR is that we don't have any cats, like big cats. But there's, if you search online, you know, people on Facebook have posted in Michigan groups a lot of cat pictures. So I know the DNR likes to say that we don't have them, but citizens
we have them here. If that would have been a mountain lion that grabbed that deer and went up that tree 7 feet, 8 feet, when those guys got underneath it, they would have known. It would have been so loud, dude. They would have ran. They're big. But they cannot jump from one tree to another carrying a deer in their mouth. It's just too heavy.
There's just no way. I don't even think it. I think I could picture a mountain lion maybe dragging it. I don't even think you could get up the tree with it. I know they're strong, but you know, a deer's a couple hundred pounds, man.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's a pretty crazy story.
Yeah.
What do you got, Sonny? Anything?
That reminds me of Brian's picture of that Bigfoot camouflaged, where you can't see nothing but his face.
Oh yeah,
that thing could have just been sitting there in the tree with that
deer. the where you can see just his head.
It almost looked like Predator camouflage. Rob, you know that movie Predator?
Yeah,
for camouflage. Sure. It looked like that, but you could actually see his nose and his eyes like this in the picture.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
all you could see though. Everything else was very strange.
You know, I'm reading chat a little bit here. I see Cosmic, and I was going to kind of bring this up. And now this is getting way outlandish, but you know, portals, maybe jumped in a portal. Because some people that research Bigfoot, they don't all think they're flesh and blood, right? They think there's some sort of supernatural involved element. I'm not sure I buy that 100%, but I think that it's not something to dismiss. And I don't know. And that's, you know, now that you think about it, that's the only thing that I could think of, really. I mean, as a possibility.
Right.
And again, I don't know about that.
Sonny, is that the picture you were talking about?
No.
Okay.
It was the other one.
Is that a
What's the other
face in
one?
the middle of that picture?
Yeah, that
Brian.
is.
Yeah, Brian was saying that's a face right there.
Man, I just saw that right off the bat.
Isn't that something?
That is wow.
That's from Brian
He
Bland.
says that's a young one.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the one you were talking about. He had more of a... Are you talking about the one where he was more camouflaged?
Mm-hmm. Not the one behind his shoulder, but the other one.
Yeah, I think he's in another batch of pictures. It'd take me a little while to find it.
Yeah, I was trying to. I had a rendition too of the Bigfoot I saw that I had an artist do. In fact, I was on some show where they did renditions.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so many damn pictures I couldn't find it. But next time I'll shoot it over to you. You can look at it. It's pretty neat.
Here's one that he showed us too.
That's it.
Is this the one?
That's the one.
Yeah, that looks like he's in and out of dimension. Like he's in and out of this dimension.
Man.
Yeah, you can kind of make it out right
you
here,
can
right?
kind of
Is
make
face.
That's his
see
nose and eyes.
Yeah.
So am I looking correctly too? Do I see a shoulder in there, like the outline of it?
Yeah, I think this is his shoulder here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, when it goes down, you can see like a leg at the bottom. I mean, that's a
almost
nice
see the tree behind him, like through him to me. Like if I'm looking at the tree behind him, in his stomach, I can see through it almost.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I tell you what, man, it's got pretty good shape. Like that's something for sure. There, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I mean, he says that's Ari. That's that Bigfoot's name.
Ari, yep, the Ari clan.
And you can tell too, like you were saying, Sonny. It looks like you can kind of see through because in the back of it, there's trees, but it's standing. It's like in front of it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not really any other way to explain why this part would be darker, why this part would be darker. It's just definitely looks like he's in and out of this dimension. Like he's not sure if he wants to show himself or what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Man,
it's an interesting picture. Brian comes with a lot of cool pictures.
You know, so that's another idea to toy with. You know, the paranormal side of it. You know that First Nations people, indigenous, man, a lot of them believe it's more of a spiritual entity than actual flesh and blood, and some believe it's both. You know, I'm kind of on the side that I think there's probably flesh and blood, but I think they've got some spiritual aspect to them. I mean, a lot of people I talk to, depending who you talk to, say they're more of an ancient people, you know, because I think they're kind of a people. Again, you know, I still to this day can't tell you what I saw because it's not your traditional Bigfoot to me. The way it's the way the face contorted, you know, it looked like a monster, man, when it opened its mouth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I still have a time grappling with it, and I've never heard a story quite like mine or even seen it. Some people say it might be a gugwe, which is but this thing had no snout. You know, a gugwe is kind of like I don't know if you've heard, they got like all rows of teeth and they kill people. I mean, they're nasty and they look more like they don't really look like a Bigfoot because they got that snout, kind of like maybe a dog man or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I'm up in the air with it still.
And what'd you call it?
A gugwe, Gugwe.
Okay.
That's what some people were saying. That's an interesting cryptid, man.
He describes that thing like Eddie Haskell was talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he called it.
It was like a half otter.
He said it looked like an otter with a German Shepherd head, but bigger, way bigger than an otter.
Wow.
Oh man, this thing is scary. Let me see if I can find a. Yeah, if this was what you saw, man, he's definitely demonic looking. Let me pull up a picture. It's kind of like a dog man, sort of. Let's see. I'm getting better at pulling these pictures. I was last time getting better at pulling
I know,
these
man. I still haven't got that down. I don't show them until.
Let's see. Window, boom.
Oh man.
his face right there is just so scary looking.
I tell you what, you
Teeth.
guys, from the second, that's what it kind of did look like when it metamorphosized. Like I said, it looked
Uh-huh.
human like, then it looked like that. I didn't see, but I only seen the two fangs coming down, right? I didn't see the middle teeth.
Yeah.
So, but, and the skin was nice and taut. I mean, and that one on the right, that looks kind of like a dog man, don't it? I mean, that looks
Yeah.
really creepy too, man. I
Yeah,
would
this
not want
guy
to see
here.
that. Yeah.
No, man, I don't think I'd ever go camping again. That's the
Yeah.
thing is I like just getting in my truck with a tent and just going out and spending the night out in the middle of the woods, but I don't know if I start seeing stuff like that, man, I'm going to be selling some camping equipment.
Well, see, that's the whole thing too, Chad, man. I see now. You think I'm going to go camping in Cadillac? You know,
No.
hell no.
And the last time I just did that, where I just packed the truck up with hardly any plans and just drove up there, that's where I was it wasn't Cadillac, but it was I'm trying to think the town. I just randomly picked a town on the map because I'm used to the national forest on the east side of the state, and I'd never been on the west side of the state to that forest. So I was like, I'll just drive up there and pick an empty deer camp or something that somebody's already flattened out, and I'll just stay there. And that's what I did.
Yep.
And I didn't see anything. I did hear something that I couldn't see. I kept looking out the tent window because I could hear like this weird. It was like a chipmunk or a squirrel or something. Or it sounded like he was interested in what we were doing, but I couldn't see him. And I kept tracking this sound all the way around the tent, and then he came to the front of my truck and stopped. But I never saw him, so I think it was a squirrel or something really small. But it was just interesting that I had a little bit of an encounter up there. But yeah, I don't know, man, if I'll go back.
Yeah, it's almost like the more you learn, the less you want to learn. It's just because
I
it's like people that enjoy camping. From people I've talked to, they're like, yeah, they don't do it quite as much as they did. Now you get these again. That's people that had, and I think I'm unique to the fact that not as many have had an encounter like I did. Most of them, as I explained earlier, have not had that I want to get you, attitude. It was more like, yeah, leave me alone type thing.
Hmm.
Like Duke Sullivan will say, they like to play around with you and they like to scare you, like we're their amusement, right? They'll throw some rocks at you.
Yeah.
They might kick your tent, like Duke was saying at nighttime. They might, screw around with you. They're not going to harm you if they wanted to, you know.
Oh, right.
But there's other creatures out there, like I was saying, perhaps the dog man, that gugweed thing, and then you can get into that. A lot of other ones. What's the other one? That's kind of a native one with the deer antlers on top of his head.
oh, the skinwalker.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I don't know.
There's just so many different things that people see. But it makes
Yep.
sense if the universe is infinite. I mean, there's probably an infinite amount of cryptids out there too.
The cool thing too, one thing I do, I like what I'm doing today. I dig the subject now. I'm not scared per se, but man, Leonard Nimoy, we knew about with him. He provided Bigfoot, Patterson Gimlin film I've seen, and I've seen UFOs. So once I started, with the cool thing about getting involved with Bigfoot is like, as you just said, there's so many things out there, not just Bigfoot, that are like crazy, creepy. Tex, his research area is in Brown Springs, and Texas seen a dog man, and Texas seen a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, right? Yeah. But in Brown Springs, is it's a bad part of Oklahoma. It's known as a dumping ground for the mob. People have been murdered back there.
Oh,
There's a cemetery back there with unmarked graves and headstones. And Tex, that's where he researches. That's his number one spot anyway. And he's been doing it about 7-8 years now. And he's like, he sees a lot of supernatural stuff now. And now he's even starting to question whether or not he's seeing Bigfoot. It might be something else. And we were further doing a deep dive on it, and we're coming up with this theory that It could be even spirits, like shapeshifters that are giving off an impression that they're Bigfoot when they're really not. If you think about that, that's a whole nother rabbit hole,
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That they would. So you're saying that they would try to pretend to be something else, and
Yeah, I
then,
mean that's what he's thinking now. After he has seen a Bigfoot, he has seen a dog. He saw a dog man when he was a kid, and
yeah.
in Brown Springs, he has seen actual Bigfoot, right?
Mm.
But the more and more he goes there, the more weird things happen to him. Like he sees shadows, and then he hears like creepy sounds, voices, and this is always like around like a cemetery, right? And other parks by the Red River that go back into the woods over there. And somebody that we had on the show had actually put this in his head. I forgot who the guy was. We've had so many guests, but said a lot of times entities will, if they know that you're looking for Bigfoot, a lot of them will play games with you and they'll make an appearance that they're something that they're not.
Okay,
Take the shape of a Bigfoot and act like a Bigfoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put out the mannerisms. But when you go to look, it's like anything else, it's just gone, or you just can't distinguish between the two. Makes it creepy. So now he second guesses what he's been doing because now he sometimes is confused, baffled by it. It's a real creepy area, man. I mean, I'd like to get down there and check it out. I was supposed to go 6 months ago, but I got struck with COVID. So I missed out on that trip, and we did a show on it. I don't know if you saw it, but it was pretty cool. And a lot of creepy things over there. Everybody was on different sides of the camping area within 100 yards of each other, and everybody had some sort of spiritual encounter all at the same time. And at the same time, all of their phones went out.
Mm.
And Jason was at the campfire, and all of a sudden, the fire that was lit went out.
Oh, that would freak me out.
And that I said, man, I don't want to go in the outdoors, man. And I love I love the nature, right? It's like, man, come on.
I'll be in the Airstream. I'll be in the Airstream watching movies.
Yeah, I hunt a lot, so I'm out there all the time. And one time I went to where I gold mine, which is up in the mountains, but not as far up as I usually go. It's in a different spot, different part of the mountains. I decided to sleep outside in my hammock instead of getting in the Jeep or putting up a tent.
Jeez.
I just decided to sleep in the hammock, and I was about 50 feet from the stream, and I had ate dinner that night and washed my dishes and hung them in a bush that's growing up by the stream to let them dry. And I left them there. I forgot to put them up. I left them there. I woke up to those dishes rattling. So I have a rifle in the hammock and a handgun. I sit up with a flashlight and turn around and look back towards the stream.
Yeah.
There's a stupid ass bear, and he's got my pans in his mouth, and it's so loud, dude. I scream at him, "No, bear!" Like he's gonna listen to me. He turns and looks, and he's got a pan hanging out of his mouth, and he takes off across the creek. It's not a very big creek. It's not really deep. He takes off across it running, so I shoot at him with the rifle. I didn't kill him. I shot at him to scare him, and he dropped that pan and took off running.
Yeah.
Not thinking. I set the rifle down, leaned it on the hammock, and just took off with my handgun. And I went and got my pan. And then when I got the pan in my hand, I seen what he had did to it, what he had in his mouth. So I was like, oh, shit. I should have left the rifle, And so I go back, and as I'm crossing the creek, I get back on the other side of the creek where my pans are hanging, and I grab the rest of them that fell on the ground. I pick those up. And as I'm walking back up to the hammock, I look. His footprints go all the way up to the head of my hammock and then turn around and go back to the creek. He came up and sniffed me while I was asleep. Man, it was scary. I got my ass in the Jeep after that.
Oh, man.
But what I was thinking the whole time is Bigfoot was going to get me. That's what I was thinking. And no Bigfoot, but a bear did come up.
Yeah, exactly.
He must have sniffed my head, dude.
That's creepy, man. Well, at least you know that you're not on the menu.
I guess. Yeah, he went back for them beans that I must have not cleaned out of the pan very well.
Wow. That's why they say don't sleep in the same tent or whatever as your food, huh? Gotta hang that up in the tree. That's creepy.
Yeah. It was hanging in a bush that was only like 3 feet tall. It wasn't hanging up anyway. It was just sitting in this bush. Jeez. Yeah, I wasn't too scared of him until I came back and seen that he actually sniffed. He was up sniffing my ass while I was asleep, and I did not wake up.
I got a buddy that sleeps in the hammock when he goes camping. I'm gonna have to let him know.
You better tell him.
Don't sleep with a Snickers bar in your pocket now.
Man,
that's the thing too. You think about camping, right? You got your food, your supplies, and certainly you've got to keep that stuff all covered. But man, what I know today now, man, it's like I've got to keep everything covered. I mean, not even for cryptids, man, to have a bear walk through camp, that'd be something you don't want to deal with either,
Yeah, we've got some nosy black bear up in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I've only seen one with 2 cubs before. I was on my 4-wheeler and I came up to a stop sign and at a road, and I looked to my right and there was a mama bear with 2 cubs, probably about
man,
I don't know, 100 yards away maybe, and she just looked at me and I looked at her and she was like, I'm going to keep going. Are you going to keep going? And she just kept on going across the road with her 2 cubs, but I had to go the same direction, so I just made sure I was faster than she was and got the hell out of there.
And that reminds me too, just the other day I was watching some video and there's these 2 guys, they're on a ridgeline looking down into like a canyon or a ravine, and there's 2 grizzly bears, right? And it's maybe 150 yards away. They're a distance, and they had their cubs with them. And these guys are like, wow, filming it. And they're making all sorts of, now they're getting excited, making all sorts of racket. And before you know it, these bears start running kind of in their, they didn't know if they're running toward them or not, because they're like running like out away from where they were and circling around. And these guys are saying, man, I think they're after us. And you know what? These things started motoring, and they got up on these guys quicker than you could believe from that distance, man.
Yeah.
It just was like, boom. Now in the video, they show the bears, maybe 50 yards away, and they get kind of freaked out, get in their car, and they take off. But you don't want to mess with the mother nature and these animals. You don't know the speed that they got, the power,
Yep. And they're so big that they see a tree laying on the ground that we would have to step over, and they probably just fly right over top of it.
Oh yeah, very agile too. It's surprising.
Another time deer hunting, Rob, I did almost step on the paw of a bear laying under a bush, but it wasn't a really big one. It was younger. It was only like 150 pounds, 180 pounds. Okay. And the paw, I'm creeping up with my bow. I'm going to shoot a deer that's in a meadow. And I'm walking down an old trail. It's like maybe the Rangers drove on it or something. It's grown over, but it's still got tire tracks in it, So I'm walking in that because it's quiet. And I got up to this bush as I'm just about ready to turn the corner in the meadow. I thought I actually bumped the bush or something, but it shook real hard. And as I looked down, there's a paw in front of my boot, and it just ripped back in front of my
God.
I had the bow in my hands like this. All I would have had to do was go boom and shoot this thing.
Yeah.
I started shaking, and I turned all the way around. And what I did, this thing was up the hill like 50, 60 yards up a hill that fast. I mean fast. And then stopped and turned sideways and looked at me. But not very big. Like I said, only like 180 pounds. Not a really big bear. So I don't think he was hunting me. I think it was asleep. And I just snuck up on it, actually.
Maybe you guys were both looking at the deer.
That was another thing I was thinking is I think he wanted that deer too.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's creepy. And you were out there by yourself?
Mostly always. I mean, somebody's within a mile or two of me, but we don't hunt together side by side usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been an interesting struggle if you guys got into a little wrestling
Not allowed
match.
to carry a gun when you're bow hunting, not even a pistol. So I would just
no
carry
kidding, really?
my knife.
Holy
Oh, wow.
smokes.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they won't let us.
You can't even carry a handgun for protection when you're bow hunting?
No, I do now, but they don't let me. I just do. I have a concealed weapons permit, so I don't carry it exposed.
Right.
And then I tell them it's not for hunting deer. This is for people.
That's right.
And that's how I get away with that.
Yep. Wow. Well, Rob, I wanted to come back to Bigfoot a little bit. Do you think that what do you think the connection is between Bigfoot and ET is, if there is a connection?
I don't know, man. That's, to me, it's kind of hard for me to put my hands around the connection. But again, since I've been doing this a while and talking to different people, it's like, like I say, I'm hearing this from other like researchers, right? Which I think are credible. You get certain people, you always hear the story about you're out in the woods and you'll see some orbs, right, floating about, and then all of a sudden, a Bigfoot might appear. When the orbs, they take off, you'll see a Bigfoot, then it vanishes. You know what I mean? Those are predominantly a lot of stories that I hear. And then I hear that, and I've heard stories that ETs have put Bigfoot on the planet. I've heard that. Do I believe that? I'm more of the realm that they've been here already, But again, I don't, like I said, I told you I got this sign that says I believe. So I tend to be one of these guys, especially after seeing what I saw. I will never discredit or denounce anything anybody says, because I will believe it first before I can dismiss anything. And I don't really dismiss things, It has to be really bizarre. But, then again, who's to say my story wasn't bizarre? I've never really looked into the UFO aspect with it. But you hear the stories, maybe that's why they can all of a sudden just disappear. People say it might walk through a portal. People say maybe they're beamed up to a UFO craft. I don't know. Speaking of craft, a lot of times you've seen craft in the woods, and people have seen Bigfoot. So a lot of these things do seem to be simultaneous and happen hand in hand. So I think there's probably some validity to it, because I don't think these things are just one thing. Right. I think they are the flesh and blood. I believe there's a spiritual aspect, supernatural, however you want to call it. And there's not really like one species, like I just mentioned that gugwe thing. That's probably maybe down the line, that's some part of their genetic makeup. I mean, we don't really know,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it past, I wouldn't put it past them being associated with it. I really wouldn't,
Yeah. Yeah, like we were talking about before, how if the universe is truly infinite and there's an infinite amount of possibilities, who knows? Maybe there's different Sasquatch, not really breeds, but Sasquatch, what am I trying to say? Like different, not
races, maybe like a race.
Yeah, races. I guess like a race, I guess.
Yeah.
And some of them might have a little bit more of a connection to ET, and some don't. Like you said that it had like reddish brown hair, the one that you saw, and then there's other people that say that they see some that are all black, and more like the 6 to 7 foot range. And I don't know. I guess there's
the video that we have of the one going up the side of that cliff.
Yeah,
it's black, and I showed the pictures of that backed out so you can see the whole cliff. One of the rangers where we hunt, he knows that area just like we do, so I showed him the pictures of the black thing crawling up it, and he said without seeing the video, he's gonna say that is an airplane shadow or a helicopter shadow because it's so big, and we don't have bears that big. We don't, dude. If you find a 400-pound bear here in California, that's a big one. You're lucky because they don't get that big.
Right.
And whatever we're looking at is big enough for that ranger to think on that mountain that he knows very well and he knows the height of. He thinks that's a helicopter or an airplane shadow. Not. And then when I tell him, no, I have a video of that crawling up the mountain, he said, I want to see the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, too, and Chad, Sonny, what you're saying too about that, especially the different colors. We had MK Davis was on the show a couple weeks ago, pretty cool interview, and he showed us a video about a white Sasquatch, pure white, and I seen the video, and it was some guy put a feeder out in the woods, you know, for deer, and this thing was, you know, you couldn't see it clear, like any video. It's not like, you know, perfect video quality, right? But you can tell that it's white, and you can tell it's something that's bipedal, and it goes up to this feeder, and he literally had to scooch down into it to scoop the food out because, like, his chest and head was above the feeder and went down, and maybe it was about 6.5, 7 foot tall, whatever. So there's another one, a white one, you know, and I think they come in all shapes and sizes, you know. I don't know if I think maybe the bigger ones are out maybe in Canada and Alaska. Maybe we just get the 9 feet tall, man, 8 foot tall. You stand past a statue that's 8 foot tall, it still soars over you.
Oh yeah, 9 foot tall is huge. And then you got to go wide with it too. If it's 9 foot tall, it's got to be
4
massive.
9 foot tall is ducking in your average house. That's you couldn't stand up in a house.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's insane to think about. That's a big.
That's big, dude.
Something.
So imagine when people say, "No, this thing was 12 feet tall."
Well, you know.
Big. That his head is in your attic if he's standing in your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too if you studied or looked up giants. You know, back in the day, the giants, like the giants, anything that was 8 foot tall or above was considered a giant way back when. So
yeah,
I think the average man was probably 5'5", though. You know.
Mm-hmm.
No, true. Yeah.
You know, like they say, David and Goliath. I always thought Goliath was this big, huge. I think I've read stuff on that in that biblical story that Goliath was. I hear anywhere from 7.5 foot to 9 foot. I'm thinking some really towering 15.
Yeah.
I'm thinking big, tall, giant. But no, it wasn't that. But I guess David was a little dude, 5 foot. You know, I mean.
Yeah. Man, so we got to plan on
Dad fighting Big Willie.
Yeah, what's he like 6'5" or 6'6" or something?
Yeah.
I'm over here 5'8", so yeah, it'd look pretty similar. Me fighting Big Willie. Yeah, so we got to plan an up north trip pretty soon. Sounds like.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Maybe get together, maybe in the spring, summer, man. It'd be good. You know,
Yeah. Change my perspective on things if I end up seeing something.
Well, you know, too, though, not even going back to Calac's okay, but man, if you look in our state, if anything north of Flint, man, is where the woods are, you know. And in fact, we've got a guy coming on a couple of weeks. I won't be there because I'll be somewhere else. But this guy, Robert Kreider, he goes all over, and he was last in the Upper Peninsula, and he was showing stick breaks that were in the UP. Again, for those that don't know, it's the Upper Peninsula of Michigan over the Mackinac Bridge, and there was actual stick breaks, and not just breaks, but twists where it was physically twisted that were 13 feet up. And he has a video, and you can see these breaks. He's talking about it, and he followed these breaks and twists. He found for a good 35, 40 yards, and then he found prints. And the prints were like 17, 18 inches. And he showed the print, cast it. I mean, incredible stuff. You know, it just reinforces the fact that, yeah, man, there's things out there that we just have no idea. You know, do I think Bigfoot exists? Hell yeah. Did I see one? Well, again, that's up for debate what that was, but it was something.
Yeah.
It was some sort of cryptid, you know, in my opinion.
Man, when you said UP, I've only been up Well, I've been to the UP a few times, but just a little bit north of the bridge. But the last time I went up, I went to Tequamanon Falls.
Oh, pretty. Beautiful area, yeah.
And man, I didn't realize how far you can drive without seeing a driveway or a road or any sign of any type of civilization. I mean, you can drive for like 10 miles down, like when you're heading north of the bridge, and not see anything. It's a creepy feeling because you're like, well, if this breaks down right now, and I'm in the middle of a snowstorm, I'm probably spending the night here.
You know, and I was talking to this guy, man, that lives up. He's a researcher, Bigfoot researcher up north, and so I'm talking to him. I said, "Man, you think I mean, it was kind of a dumb question." I said, "You think Sasquatch is really in the Upper Peninsula?" He goes. Then I kind of felt dumb when I asked that, but sometimes the basic dumb questions get the most response, right?
Yeah.
This guy's like, dude, there's nobody that lives up here. There's like you're just saying, miles and miles of forestry with no humans.
Yeah.
Of course they're there. They love it. There's no one around.
Right.
And he says, man, if you know what you're looking for, you can find all sorts of evidence. All sorts.
I can only imagine in the UP. I mean, you just drive into the falls. There'd be like a snowmobile trail that you can head down, and I'm like, oh, I wonder where that goes. You pull it up on the map, and it just goes to the far end of the Upper Peninsula. It just keeps on going until it stops. So it's like, holy smoke! People haven't been down that in probably years.
It's funny too. When we're talking about all this stuff, and again, it just further creeps me out because, when you get into Bigfoot, you get down all these other rabbit holes. Then I find out about all these haunted lighthouses we have in Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, along Lake Michigan. We got these underground military base just south of Lake Superior in the UP, where I heard that they don't only it's not only for the military, but it could be a landing spot for UFOs. Or the military is putting together biogenetically engineered dogmen. I mean, man, you start getting into this, and I find a lot of crazy, cool stuff. But it makes you wonder, is that for real? And then you got to go back to what happened to me. Yeah, anything's possible.
Right. Whew. Yeah, the UP just freaks me out, man, because if you have an experience up there, you're like another hour drive to get to somebody to tell them what's going on.
You're SOL. And it's like, my mom and dad, they're planning on returning to Upper Peninsula. I said, okay, you're going to be 70 years old, raking snow off, your trailer, whatever the hell you buy. And then what if something happens? The closest hospitals is Saint Sue Marie, which is like 2 hours. And if it's wintertime, you ain't getting there. These older people who retire there, to me, are dumb. You got to go there when you're young, retire in Florida,
Yeah, can you imagine if you had a medical emergency up in the UP? I mean, you're probably...
They helicopter a lot of people, if the helicopter get to your property. Because a lot of these people have their homes surrounded by forests, and you can't even land a copter. Where would you even plow through 4 foot of snow? I mean, they get snow where you're snowed in.
Dude. It's really dangerous like that here, too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
When I worked at Kreider, I was standing in the emergency parking lot. I was an officer there, and a guy came in hot in his truck in a pickup and pulled up where the ambulance is parked. I thought he was going to hit the hospital. And he slams on the brakes. He opens the truck door and just falls out of it. He's hanging out of the truck now. And I ran over there to get him. And when I get over there, there's a dead snake in the floorboard. He got bit by a rattlesnake in the mountains and drove himself to the hospital. And he made it. He barely made it, but he made it. And just like passed out. As soon as he got there and opened his door, he just fell out with his seatbelt still on. He was hanging out of the truck.
He brought the snake so they'd know which antivenom to use or something?
It was a rattlesnake.
I'm taking you with me.
He killed it, took it with him.
You're mine now.
Yeah.
I've seen someone have to drive themselves that far. And, man, that was just a snake bite. Just imagine if you have broken stuff and you live up there and they can't go get you.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
Yeah.
Sherry said that where'd she say that at? They used to be called abominable snowmen. And Yeah, the Yeti. And then Cosmic said the thing with Bigfoot is they adapt like we do. Scandinavian people are light-skinned, and the further south you go, the darker you get. So
Okay,
yeah, maybe they're seeing this abominable snowman as a white, maybe as a white Sasquatch. The farther up you go, and then the farther down you get to where we're at, they have a darker color to them. Is that something that you've heard of before, where their colors change depending on where they're at geographically?
I really haven't heard that. What I predominantly have heard was the reddish brown, the black, now just recently the white. But the only thing I did hear, though, as far as their size, I did hear that in the north, like Montana, um, maybe Colorado, and of course, Northern California, Oregon, deep in the Pacific Northwest, they tend to be bigger. You know what I mean? And now, like where we live, south, or even further south, like Mississippi, Florida, a little bit smaller. Like I've heard, like Duke was. I get a lot of my information from Duke, man. I contacted him when I had my encounter about 3 years ago. We talk all the time. He's telling me like the bigger ones that are anywhere from 9, 10, 12 feet, they get that big up in the mountains, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, he has in Alaska, even imagine Alaska of all places. We get the 7, 8 footers in Michigan, and they say that the skunk ape in Florida is 6.5, 8 feet. I think the further north you go, the bigger they are.
Yeah.
The colder climate.
Right.
The more for them to eat.
Yeah.
In Montana and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this Michigan dog man? Have you looked into that too much?
Yeah, Michigan, Wexford County, I guess here in the state of Michigan is like the home of dog man, right? And that
Wexford County?
Area. Yeah. And actually Wexford County is part of where Cadillac, Michigan is as well.
Oh.
See, and
connection.
Yeah, and I hate referencing back to people we've had on our show, but Jody Cook was on, and he was in Midland, Michigan, and he's a military guy, and he had his base here in Michigan and Midland. And first of all, he did have, when he was on maneuvers, practicing, they were doing their, going through, practice isn't the right word for the military, but just going through like war games or whatever they were doing in the woods, that they had come across a couple Bigfoot there. And he had actually seen a dog man, something look, he knows the difference. He's been researching now, I guess, for the last 10, 12 years himself. And he's seen a Bigfoot in Midland, which is in that general area we're talking about. And then he also said he's seen a dog man who was standing, had the pointed ears. It had the hocked legs, and it just looked like a big old, almost kind of like a big giant wolf on 2 legs, and had like that Doberman Pinscher style head with pointed straight up ears like this. He's seen that, and man, that frightened him more so than the Bigfoot didn't frighten him as much as dog man. He said there was something weird about it, and he just didn't like it, and it looked at him like it was, up to no good.
Yeah, like a demonic entity instead of a friendly one.
Yeah, and we talked about, and I don't think Bigfoot's like a demonic thing, even though I mentioned mine, but that goes back to days of Egypt, man. Then I put 2 and 2 together like anybody else has, how the Egyptians had those figures with heads of dogs, Anubis on them, and that supposedly was some sort of god, a god or whatever. They, bowed down to it or whatever.
Yeah, they worshipped
it. I
it.
often wonder if that's actually what we have. I mean, I don't know.
It could be
endless possibilities.
Yeah, it does make it more interesting to think about that. Yeah, when you go back that far, even on the cave paintings, they were seeing the same type of things that we were seeing. And human animal hybrids and stuff like that. So it's like, man, what is the purpose for this, and why is it? Why is it here, and why are we seeing the same things that the Egyptians were seeing, but we still don't have any more answers than maybe they did?
Yeah,
it seems like it's information that's been lost. Like Graham Hancock says, we're a civilization with or what's he say? Yeah. Society with amnesia or civilization with amnesia. There's a lot of things that we've lost, a lot of information that we've lost along the way.
Yeah, I think a lot of information is lost, and sometimes I wonder too if it's been on purpose. If
Yeah.
there's some other. Now we're getting into the ABC groups, and
This
you know,
is where the internet's going to shut off.
yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't say that to Sonny too loud. Sonny's hanging on by a thread over there at the internet.
Oh
Am
yeah.
I?
No. Today you're doing great. Yeah, today your internet's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Comcast or Xfinity is the internet provider around here. They contacted me yesterday and they're like, "Hey, for $10 more, we can go from 100 meg to 300 meg." I'm like, ooh, okay, sign me up.
Yeah, I got Wow, man, and they had the same offer because I went to I think it was 200 or 300. It was $10 more, and then for this Christmas they said they gave me an additional 100 just
Jeez.
because I've been with them for so long.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, well, that's cool because for doing podcasts and stuff, it really helps.
Absolutely.
But as I had mentioned earlier, I might have to get a gaming computer because I guess those are the ones you're supposed to get. I just got your basic laptop. I guess the gaming computer's got more built-in speed regardless of your internet connection because there's so many graphics in these games these kids play. Or maybe adults too,
It's like super overkill for doing podcasts. But yeah, a gaming computer would last you probably 20 years doing podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I just bought one of these Mac. I've never had a Mac before in my life, but I wanted to do more video editing and more picture editing and stuff like that. So I bought one of these Mac M1 Mac Minis, and I just have it hooked up. It's like a desktop, basically. You just hook it up to a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor, and I have yet to see this thing slow down. It is fast. It's the fastest computer I've ever worked on.
That's like the one I got, man. I got it's a Dell 990, and I bought it refurbished. So they just put all brand new stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it's 16 RAMs and 2 terabytes of memory.
Yeah, it's
fast. It's really fast, and it was like $240.
Oh, that's sweet. If you were to buy that at Best Buy, it costs you like $3,500. Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I figured I'd rather buy 10 of these than one of those.
Yeah.
Yep. Man. Yeah, it's crazy how stuff's progressed in just a short amount of time. Computers are insane now.
Yeah. And you're going back to that dog, man. It's like you guys have probably heard similar stories too. And again, I wonder what your opinion is. I've heard quite a bit where the dog man even was chasing down cars, and sticking their heads in people's windows and snapping at them. To hear certain stories, you're like, man, is this really that's somewhat discredits, what we're trying to figure out,
I think you saw a wolf.
And again, maybe that's true. I don't know. I think the dog man is a little further. We need to do further investigation, at least at my end, because I don't really spend that much time on it, though I am interested. And as you said, Chad, man, we do have them in Michigan, though.
Yeah, where did I can't really remember exactly where Dogman is really known. It's like Connecticut or something.
Well, you remember the Beast of Bray Road? That was Linda Godfrey. Look her up. That's in Wisconsin, and she's a dogman researcher. She's written several books, which are pretty fascinating. I suggest you check her out because she really puts it together nice, and she's also has Sasquatch encounters where she lives.
I got that written down here in my notes. Show notes. Linda Godfrey.
Yeah, Godfrey. Godfrey.
Very way. Okay.
And her book is The Beast of Bray Road. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into that because I don't know a whole lot about.
And she goes into detail about Wisconsin and Michigan mostly.
Okay.
So, which is kind of it's where we live.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really when I first found Dave Scott, and I saw that you and at the time it was Vinny Barbarino was in there talking, and
Yeah, I was going to ask you off topic here. I haven't seen Vinny in months, man. I mean, I was in there for a couple of weeks, man, with the COVID. I just well, what I do is I watch on TV. A lot of times I don't even go and chat because sometimes I'll get too immersed in chat and I forget what the hell they're talking about on the actual show. I get that problem sometimes, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen Vinny or his buddy Tai Tai.
Yeah, now I'm kind of worried because I just went on their channel today actually to see where Vinny was, and the last episode they uploaded, Vinny was like complaining about a pain in his side, like he was getting stabbed, and he's
Oh
like,
wow.
he thought maybe he kept saying he felt like his appendix was gonna burst.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
well, I was about to say myself. I'm no doctor. Sounds like appendix.
Yeah, so hopefully he's doing okay. I haven't
I
heard
get
anything from him.
Last time I had a pain in my side, it was a kidney stone, and those are a pain in the butt too.
Yeah, I have a buddy that's just going through that about a couple months ago.
Hmm.
I had a gallstone a few years ago that I had to get taken care of. It feels like you're having a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's horrible. Yep. What else could we get into?
I could probably. There's a story that I like to tell sometimes. It's about we're talking about cryptids, but one thing that really freaked me out is kind of a cool story, if you don't mind. It's kind of about a ghost,
No, I love stories.
and yeah, I kind of like telling this one. It's cool because it involves my entire family,
Mm-hmm.
and let's see here. This is this is probably about 10 years ago, probably longer, probably closer to 15. But my brother had bought a house in a new subdivision along with his wife, my sister-in-law, and at the time their kids were Lauren, my niece. I think she was about how old are they when they can first start talking pretty good? Is that like 4 or 5? I don't have kids, so I think it's 4 or 5. And my nephew was probably 7. So they, blah, 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 buy this house. Brand new subdivision. In fact, Chad, it's over there in Brownstown. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. We're by the garbage pit.
Yeah, and it's Pennsylvania Road. But anyway, where they were off of. And so they're there, and I spent a lot of time at my brother's house. I'd go over there on the weekends. We'd hang out, drink some beers, barbecue, hang out. So one night, when I spend the night at his house, and for whatever reason, man, his house in the bedrooms, all the bedrooms, when you shut the door, it was like black darkness. I mean, unless you had a nightlight or turned on the switch for the lamp or whatever,
Yeah.
black. It takes a while. Once your eyes get adjusted, you can see just enough to maybe if you had to go to the bathroom and get out of the bed or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm laying in bed, and nighttime we all go to bed. And now at this time, I must admit I'm kind of inebriated, so that's why I thought nothing of this. The door opens in my bedroom, and like I said, it's dark. When that door cracked open, man, that light down the hallway really shone in really good. And I see this. I don't see I see the shadow and outline, which appeared to be my niece, like 4 foot tall, long hair, looked just like a little girl. That's what I'm thinking. It's my niece, and I shout out, "Hey, Lauren, can't sleep? You want to come sleep with Uncle Robbie?" Just the door shut. I'm like, yeah. I forget about it. Next morning, wake up, have coffee, I go home. About a month later, again, I spend the night. Again at night, I'm in bed. Door opens. Crack of the light. Again, figure of a little girl. Hi, Lauren. You did this last time I was here. What's going on? Door shuts. So, I'm kind of thinking about, what's she doing? This and that. Again, though, I kind of blow it off or whatever. Now, next time on their third time this happens, same thing happens. Door opens, light. I see a figure. I just immediately, as soon as the door shut, I jump out of my bed and I open the bedroom door
Mm-hmm.
and I run down the hallway. As I'm running down the hallway toward Lauren's bedroom, because I'm going to her room, I seen her door shut, slam shut. I open it though, thinking I'm going to catch her trying to jump in bed. You know, I'm thinking, oh, now I know she's, playing games with me.
Mm-hmm.
I get in her bedroom and she is sound asleep, tucked in her bed, nice and tight, sound asleep. Now, let me tell you something. The door, I'm chasing down the hallway, door shuts, figuring it's her. I get there, and this is a matter of seconds, you guys. You know, the hallway is probably, 30, 20 feet down the hallway. And I look, and there's no way that she could have done all that, got in bed. And little kid, your mom tucked her in, and she was snug. I mean, she was tightly snugged away.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. And it came on me. I mean, that has to be some sort of ghost or something.
Yeah.
There's no way she did this. There's just none of us could do it. Not that fast, especially a little kid.
Right.
So I'm like, I just get this weird, like, wow, now I'm kind of creeped out,
No explanation. Yeah.
No explanation. So one day I'm talking to my ma, and I had to tell. I didn't tell Dave or Karen. That's my brother and sister-in-law. I didn't really tell them because I didn't want them to get all like, nervous or whatever. But I tell my mom that, and my mom says, Rob, that's happened to me on several. My mom would spend the night once in a while because they had a nice home. They had like 4-bedroom homes, so whenever we went there, we crashed. My mom said it happened to her on a couple occasions.
Ooh.
So I'm like, are you kidding me? Same type. Little girl thought it was Lawrence. Hey, come see Grandma. Shut the door. And that was that. In fact, my mom had even made mention to Lauren one morning. Hey, was that you? Were you playing games with Grandma last night? And Lauren didn't have no idea what the hell she was talking about. Like, no, Grandma. So my mom just like blew it off as, she was just not telling her the truth or just playing game, kidding her or whatever.
So she still believed it was her?
Well, my mom, maybe she thought it was her, but she thought it was strange. I told my mom it happened 3 times, and she said it happened at least twice to her, and she thought it was Lauren. But then again, when I told her what happened to me, she was like, oh my Lord, So this was... So one day we were all together. It was me, my mom, my brother, Karen. The kids were playing or whatever. I say, hey, listen, you guys, I got to say something. This is happening. I told them the story like I told you guys, this 3-time incident, and my mom had mentioned twice. Karen and Dave, they look at each other with like this like look on their face, like, and Karen goes, oh my God. She goes, you know what? In Lauren's, that's happened to Dave and Karen too in their bedroom where they thought it was Lauren. But she says what's even weirder than that is they have a playroom and there was glass doors where you could see into the playroom, and that was where Lauren would play. She had her house and building blocks, whatever the girls play with, and she sees Lauren when they're talking. Just, and not to her like her doll, but talking into this playhouse. And talking, hand gestures. And she thought it was cute, oh, look at Lauren being all creative, pretending like she's got a play friend. Opens the door, and then Karen opens the door to where her daughter is and says, hey, Lauren, you got a new play friend? And she goes, Mom, why'd you do that? Why'd you come in here? She goes, what do you mean? And she says, well, Jenny doesn't like adults. She just took off. You scared her away. And Karen's like, she's like, what did you say? Yeah, you scared away Jenny. She don't like adults. Jenny? Who's Jenny? Your made up friend? No, see Jenny? So I'm thinking, when she's telling me this story, I'm immediately thinking this is a goddamn movie. Excuse my language. I'm like, man, right?
Yeah.
So
Holy smokes.
okay, so now Karen sees Lauren talking again, right? Opens the door. She goes, Mom, you gotta stop interrupting me and Jenny when we're talking. I told you she don't like you.
Oh my gosh.
So now Dave and Karen are thinking, number one, is our kid, got mental problems, or
get her in the car,
have
call the doctor.
Or do we have an apparition or something going on here?
Yeah.
Now they got my story, my mom's story. They claim to have seen something in their room. Now Lauren, the daughter's talking to somebody. And so Karen says, can you explain what Jenny looks like? She goes, yeah, Mom, she's about my size, long hair, which meets the description of what I've seen. And my mom looks kind of like her. She goes, she's dark skinned. And she's like an Indian, I guess.
Wow.
So my brother is now, and Karen, I'm like, well, so my brother goes and does all this research on where their house was built, right? He's just trying to, he started talking to people, and they had suggested, hey, find out, the origin of that land or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's doing a deep dive in this, and he had found out that after researching this part of Michigan where this actual subdivision was built, there was a massacre, man, of Indians by American Native Americans were massacred by, I guess, us Northerners or cowboys way back when, and all the dead were buried there, and included women, children, and everything. So now you put all this together, we are, I guess, guessing that maybe this is a spirit, a disbanded soul, man. Wow. And I tell you what, not 3 months later, they put the house up for sale. They moved because this shit stuff was, this was going on and just starting to freak them out.
And it's probably the more you acknowledge it, the more it's like, hey, they can see me.
Yeah, and they moved, and not a problem since.
So it didn't follow him, huh?
Nope.
So she has a connection to that house and that property.
Yeah.
Wow, that is insane. And how old was your niece or the?
I think she's probably 4 or 5. Just she could talk pretty fluently. I mean, so probably in first, second grade,
That's what they say is they can see them until they're about 7.
Yeah. So maybe she could have been 7. I know she was going to first or second grade, whatever. She was communicative, could speak,
so, so she was about at that age range where they say that kids can still see stuff that's really not there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool story.
Yeah. And so that's another one I could check off the list. Yes, ghosts do exist. I've now seen one now,
Yeah, and she was interacting with you guys.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So that was, I
have a friend of mine that his daughter they were in the car driving down the road, and she was in the back seat just, oh yeah. Like she was talking to somebody that was sitting right there next to her. And I don't think they thought anything of it until she said the girl's name. And then they were like, okay, why does this imaginary friend have a name? Where did the name come from? And she said, oh, that's my sister. And come to find out, I don't think she knew she had a sister. I don't really know the story. I should probably not. The guy that I am friends with that I'm talking about, he's probably going to be listening right now, actually. But so I've probably got the story completely wrong. But it had something to do with she was talking to her sister, and she didn't know that she had lost a sister at birth.
Okay.
So she was talking to her sister. Her unborn sister.
Oh, wow. That's pretty creepy.
Yeah. I'm going to have to get him to tell me that story again so I can let you know. But yeah, it had something to do with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, that would be... Now that takes the cake right there.
Yep. talking to an unborn sister that she didn't know she had.
Now that's movies are made out of stuff like that. Now that's
yeah, that's what I was like. He was telling me this at work, and I'm like, huh, that sounds like something a movie would be about. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna have to have him tell me that story again if he's comfortable with it.
Yeah,
I never thought about the ghosts too much because I never pictured myself going out there ghost hunting.
Right.
And we had a Christmas dinner where we have our drag races. Shirt I got on here, Eagle Field. It's an old army base, and I went and walked through the barracks at night over there a few nights ago, where the soldiers used to live. It's all old and messed up and just torn up, falling down. It's really old. But I went and walked through there, and you can hear how loud it is as I'm walking in there. It's loud. And you'll clearly hear something behind me. Dude, it stopped me dead in my tracks. I turned around and couldn't go back in that room. I had just walked through that room, and there's nothing in there. That room was actually one of the rooms that was cleaned out. It was the only one that was that cleaned out. And yeah, you can hear it on the recording. You hear it behind me. You can hear it's in the other room, and I just froze. I was like, God damn it! I was waiting for someone to be in there to scare me or something, and there was nobody in there. I chalked it up to a possum.
Yeah, I forgot to talk to you about those videos you sent me. I didn't even know you were going over there to do any of that.
Neither did I. It was on a whim.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty far out too. It's like, again, this is referring back to Michigan. Chad, I don't know if we had an old insane asylum called Eloise.
I've heard of that place.
Okay, now it's been torn down. It's something else now. But back in the day, a girlfriend of mine, or more of not a girlfriend but a friend, she was big into the ghost hunting thing, man, and she had some equipment. She had like whatever EMF, or I'm not familiar. I'm not a ghost hunter myself, so I whatever equipment. But she had a real good camera though. So she went with her girlfriends, and Eloise, man, and actually they were into this because you actually had to break in there to get inside the hospital. You had to go climb a fence, and the fences were like 8 foot tall, man. So I give the girls credit, man. They were really into this, so they would go out at night, man. They did this on several occasions. And I'm like, well, don't be calling me to get bailed out of jail. That's, they strictly says, man, we'll arrest you and we will fine you.
Yeah.
So I guess they get over the fence, and they get back, and they're find an entranceway where they could actually was underneath the hospital. So it was like they got in there, got underneath, and got in. And she said immediately she was creeped out, and they didn't stay very long because the girls now are like, they regretted going in there. But she was taking pictures, right, with her camera in darkness.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And she said they weren't even there 10 minutes. They said, man, why are we doing this? This is not, because she said she felt real cold, got real chilly. And says, man, she got this feeling of like dread overtook her, she was saying. I said, wow. So, well, you're going back there again? No. So, man, she gets her film developed, and when she took those pictures, I'm not saying these things were ghosts, but there was all around them, there was these shadowy objects. It looked smoky, and there was blackness, but when he fired the camera, a light goes off, and there was images of like smoky, they had length to them, but they weren't, you couldn't make it out as a body, but you can tell that, she said she didn't see that while she was taking a picture, and there was a bunch, and it was all around the place. I said, well, there you go, because I heard stories that place was why they went there in the first place is because that's a big story that it was haunted, and then they actually tore it down. They leveled that thing, and whatever it is today, who knows? That place is probably still haunted.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff. I mean, I've heard a lot of people that say that they go urban exploring here in Michigan. I mean, if you look up urban exploring Michigan, that place always pops up.
Okay.
And they always say that it was haunted at the time. I'm sure the property probably still is.
Yeah.
If it had that much activity there.
hey, it goes back to like my brother's house he bought. I mean, hey, I wonder if the person that bought that home, I wonder if they're experiencing anything, And like
Hmm.
you said, whatever's there today, I got to research that and see what's been built there and, see what it is. Because I'm sure they just don't go away.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I don't know much about the subject, but man, just from hearsay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what makes them go to the other side and what makes them hang around. I'd have to talk to somebody I'd have to look more
Right.
into that because I'm really not sure why some ghosts hang around and why they don't transfer over to the other side and how that works. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, man, I want to get involved. I don't want to get involved with that because one thing I do know, what I'm doing, I'm doing. But I started out Bigfoot. Now you're running all this crazy stuff. In fact, I don't even watch. I used to be a big. I was intrigued by like paranormal activity too. Kind of. I kind of spirits and like the devil and demons. I kind of was kind of weird that way.
Hmm.
But now, after people I've talked to, I don't even watch that stuff no more because I'm scared I'm going to invite something in, man.
Right.
I mean, I just, and guys, ever since, like I was telling you, I mentioned sleep paralysis. I never had that until I had the Bigfoot encounter. And I was talking to someone, and they said sleep paralysis some people say that's entities working on you. It's, where you
Yeah.
get paralysis because I'd be sitting in a chair, just be late at night or something, and my eyes would be wide awake, and I would see a shadowy figures on my floor coming down. It would swirl around my chair, and I get terrified, and I try to bust out, and my eyes are open. I'm looking at my TV. I know I'm not dreaming. I know I'm awake. I pinch myself, and I can feel myself pinch myself, but I can't like move, And then, and this went on for me for a long time. This is like right after, it actually was after she passed on, Cindy. Like,
Oh, okay.
and so me and Tex had someone on the show, and this was a spiritual person, and she was actually a witch.
Uh-huh.
And she said, "Yeah, you got something, man." And she told me, "Well, if that ever happens again, just say, in the name of the Lord Jesus, go, leave me alone. I revoke you. You've heard those words on movies,
Oh,
but
yeah.
use those words." And this happened to me, and I remembered that, and I had said that, and then boom, the stuff stopped, and I was already awake, so I didn't like wake up. It stopped, and I went about my business. Of course, I was scared for the rest of the night to go back to bed.
Yeah.
But this happened like 5 or 6 times. But now, knock on wood, it hasn't happened in probably 8 months, 9 months.
Oh, that's
I
good.
talked to that lady, and in
Yeah.
fact, I even got sage and incense, and I put it all. I mean, I can't believe I'm doing this. I sound like a weirdo, right? But I'm doing this at windows and doors. And I said, man, why do they have to see this damn Bigfoot? Now I'm all messed up with all this goofy shit going on,
Yeah. Yeah, the cool thing is that Bigfoot, as far as I know, Bigfoot doesn't follow you home like these entities do. Like if you see a ghost at a burial ground or something, they say that, if you treat them the wrong way, they can follow you home. They can come home with you. These
Man,
hitchhikers. And as far as I've heard, I've never heard of a Bigfoot hitchhiking home with someone and showing up and, hey, you got any
yeah,
cheeseburgers in there?
yeah, right.
I'm hungry out here. Yeah, I've never heard of a Sasquatch following anybody home, but these
Well,
ghosts do.
I did hear stories about researchers and even people that, let's say that I did hear stories though that maybe they don't follow you home, but a lot of them kind of know. I guess the word is follow you home because I've heard some people were telling us stories about, especially if they live in the woods, they're out there researching Bigfoot.
Hmm.
Bigfoot know where they live. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of times. Now, like you're saying, no, I don't think they follow you 50 miles to the highway, stuff
Right.
like that. But I think if you live in their proximity, they probably have a good idea where you live.
Right. Ooh, that's creepy to think about because I I started thinking about the cabin we go to up north, my uncle's cabin. I'm sure they probably know where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's right in the middle of the forest. If you look on a map, all the land around him is protected forest land, and he's like the only square private land in the area.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a good place to go if I wanted to do some more hunting.
So it's funny now. My brother, my nephew, now when they go hunting, man, they're kind of look for signs, and now they're hunting. That's their bag, but it's like now they kind of look around and try to look for things. And
opens your eyes up a little bit more.
Because I would imagine that hunters or just people that are hikers or whatever, I imagine, and if you're not aware of like Sasquatch, Bigfoot, you probably walk past them a lot because I know they're out there. You just don't know what you're looking at, or you just walk right past them because they do hide very well, except for the one that decided to show himself to me. Other than that, they're pretty. They want nothing to do with us, in my opinion. I really don't think so.
Yeah, it makes me wonder that, like, when you do see them, when they do want you to see them, and they make themselves visible, there's got to be a reason for it. Because, like I was listening to Gemma Jade yesterday talk about how many dead people she sees on a daily basis. And she says you don't realize how many of these dead people you go by on a daily basis. She said that she can barely even leave her house because of all the dead people that are coming up to her, and that she has to find her way through while she's walking. And it makes me think that
I gotta watch that show, man. What was that on? That's creepy.
What was she? Maybe she was saying that on the weekend after show. Maybe I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, anyways, regardless, that's one thing. Yeah, I've heard that people have that ability, and I wouldn't want to go through life seeing dead people all the time.
No, me neither. It'd drive me nuts.
Can you imagine? Yeah, and you're trying to get out of the way. It looks like you're drunk when you're walking down the street. Oh, excuse me. People are like, what the hell are you doing, man? Walking a straight line.
I'm avoiding all these dead people.
Why are you zigzagging? Yeah, then you say that, and they go, okay, let's call the street.
Yeah. Follow us to this pink room we have over here, padded room.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead, Sonny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just never heard of anybody with the same experience with these cryptids. Like, can you imagine just walking through the woods and there's just like 500 Bigfoots all around you? You're like, I'm trying to just have a nature walk here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And like I say, more people I talk to, again, Chad, it's been 3 years I've been talking to people, and I've been doing the show for a year now, and I just saw so many people, and they all have the same commonality that where there's one, there's more than one. And they keep their tabs on us in the woods.
Yeah.
And they know they're there. They know we're there, and they don't, like I say, they don't want to make themselves known, which is.
Yeah. And it seems like they can tell our intentions, except for the one that you saw. I don't know. It seems like he didn't know your intention.
Yeah, my intention was just doing some fishing, showing her how to fish, man. That was it.
Right.
And again, I had people tell me that maybe I was in his hunting area. But then again, how many people have done that same exact thing I did and nothing happened?
Right. And it would have to know that it's not like you're going to steal all of his food from him. I mean, obviously.
We're two people, It's not like we were keeping it to eat anyway. We're going to throw it back. I mean, it's
right.
Not like, so.
Yeah. That's where it makes me wonder, like, can they always tell our intentions, or is it only if we want them to? It's strange. It's crazy how this stuff works.
No, it is, man, and it's just one of those things that I think we're always going to be wondering, and it's such an open-ended book, That,
yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to keep you too much longer because I know that I got you up early and.
Yeah,
I got some stuff to do today.
Yeah, right around 10 o'clock, I had a plan. I figured a couple hours would be cool because I got to finish up some Christmas shopping. I got a guy coming by check. My washing machine, man. I bought a brand new washing machine, not even 90 days old, and it quit working on me. And so I had to go through all this hassle. I bought it at Lowe's, right? And and I do have a warranty though through DTE, where any appliance I get, they come out, I get free repairs, right? Or they'll replace it. But you can't do that with this because it's still under manufacturer's warranty for 90 days. So I got to call these clowns, and this happened 3 weeks ago. I've been going to the laundromat, by the way, because the repair facility is in Ohio. and they couldn't get out here. I got to call them today, in fact, because they said they're going to be here on the 20th. So I'm going to laundromat,
with a brand new machine at your house.
Brand new machine, and they're going to come here. So they better repair it because nothing's made to last, dude.
Nope.
And I'm going to say it right now. I bought a Maytag. Don't buy one.
No.
For all you people out there, I'm sorry to slam Maytag, but I'll never buy from them again.
It's almost like all these.
My wife has expensive ones, and she breaks them all the time. But
yeah,
she's lucky because I know how to fix them.
I wish you lived by me.
I have to fix them.
The problem with mine is, man, it won't cycle. It won't cycle past wash. It'll start, then it'll go to wash, and it don't cycle. The light, because the light won't move, and then it just stays there. So
it's
I guess
water
it's an electrical.
It's the board. Yeah, it's the electric water sensor. That's what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
so something they probably have to unplug from a harness and just plug a new one in and hook it all up.
Yep, probably take the back off of it. So at least they're going to be able to fix it, and it's no charge, but it's just a pain in the ass to go to the laundromat.
You know who does that kind of work now is Big Willie. He goes into houses and repairs appliances.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
We might have to hook him up with Rob here.
Well, like I say, these guys will be out in 6 days. I'll keep you posted.
That is very man. Go out and buy a brand new machine and think you're good for the next 20 years.
Yeah. Hell, give me 10. I know stuff's made they call that planned obsolescence, man, with the big companies. They know they build it so it breaks. You have to buy another.
I listened to a 2-hour podcast on that exact subject.
My wife went for like 3 years before I had to take this one apart, and then the pump was filled up with money.
Not a bad problem.
They don't empty their pockets.
Yeah. So here's $20 to change,
This will pay for the repair bill.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Rob, I'll let you get going on your Christmas shopping and stuff. I really appreciate you waking up early and hanging out with us.
No, I'm glad to join, man. You got a cool show, and wish you the best of luck. And again, I'll if you don't mind, I'll tell people if you guys subscribe me and text. I have a show called Trinity Paracrypto Research.
Yeah, let me go ahead and throw your link in the.
Sure, Thursdays at noon we do brunch with Bigfoot. 6:30. And on Mondays we do Texas Front Porch. And my channel too is Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I don't have a lot of content. Well, I do. I do all the advertising for the show, and I'm expanding it because I might be doing my own solo show, Midnight Michigan. Might be coming soon next year. So we got a lot of things in the hopper. Please, if you guys want to check us out, that'd be great. Because I need to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can do free lives. But then again, I can do it on StreamYard. So, but it's always cool. The more followers we get, and again, I always promote your guys' show. I think you have a great show.
Well, thanks, man.
And Sonny's show too. I think Sonny's got the paranormal. What's that, Sonny?
Paranormal Shop. That's Chad's show too. That's Chad's show too.
So you guys, I figured you guys are working like a team. Like me and Tex are a team. So and Jason.
Yeah.
He's usually on Mondays. We had a great show yesterday. We had Duke on yesterday. That was a pretty awesome show. I'm kind of interested to see how many people turned out. But thanks, you guys. And if I don't talk to you, have a Merry Christmas. Thanks to everybody in chat.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, Rob. I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon.
I'll talk to you. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll probably see Sonny over there too. So
we got to plan our spring-summer trip.
Yeah, that'd be
Northern Michigan.
Sweet.
That'd be fun.
And too, Duke was telling me that I might, because Dave, well, I maybe shouldn't say what Dave's planning on doing. Maybe he won't like me to say it, so I'll just have to wait. I'll do it.
He's always got something in the works, that we're not supposed to hear about.
Yeah, I know. I heard about it yesterday from Duke, though, so it'd be pretty cool.
It's not the Vegas trip, is it?
No. In fact, I started watching Dave's show a couple of years ago when I was in Vegas last. I sent him a picture of me in Vegas, and he sent me back a picture of him to me flipping me off. Like I wish I was there. I got
he loves Vegas.
His classic Dave picture, man. He's got a stupid look. He's like,
he wants to move there. I heard him say that that's where he wants to move to is Vegas. He wants to live there.
Yeah. Hey, man, I tell you what, for what he's into with UFOs and ufology, that's where Art Bell did his show, right? Midnight in the Desert.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can see
I
him
can
out there.
see Dave sliding into that role.
Yep. Set me a
So,
tower up right here. Be all set.
yeah, yeah. He's out in the middle of the desert, right?
Yep. Well, yeah, I
That,
put Trinity's paranormal in the chat and Rob's personal channel too. So please go ahead
yeah,
and click on both of those and subscribe to both.
yeah, it'd be great. Thank you, and again,
Really
thanks
appreciate
everybody
that.
watching. Yeah, yep. Again,
Yeah,
great
thanks,
show.
Rob. We'll do this again soon.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
good,
that'd be
man.
fun. I had fun. Thanks, Sonny. Thanks, Chad. All right.
Have it going.
You too. See you later.
Later, buddy. Well, that was fun, Sonny.
That was a good guest.
Yeah, he had some stories I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. The Bigfoot, man. How scary would that be to be paralyzed by something screaming at you? And that's not the first time I've heard that happens.
Yeah.
I chalk it up to fear. I've only been that scared that I can think of one time that I locked up. Well, that was hydroplaning in the rain on my R1. So I was moving. I was doing about 100. And
Oh
it
my
went
God.
sideways. My body said turn the wheel into the slide, and my reflexes said no, keep it straight. And so I was trying to turn it, but my body wouldn't move. I could give it gas, and I just shot into the other lane, and it straightened out. I was fine.
Holy smokes.
I couldn't move. Just for like a second, I was like, I couldn't move. I couldn't get myself to move.
Mm-hmm.
I was froze.
So that's like your self-conscious telling you, nope, you're not thinking the right thing. You need to do this.
Yeah, that
instead.
was my reflexes saying, don't do that. That's
Don't
what
do
I
that.
chalked that up to. Yeah, that was
Don't be dumb.
was me knowing better, even though I wanted to. I knew better than to turn into that slide.
Yeah. Well, hi, Melissa. How are you? I haven't seen you in the chat. Where have you been? Yeah, right. I'm kidding. I saw you in the beginning. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Everyone in here. Thanks, Oracles.
Oracles, thanks for encouraging everyone to hit that like button. You're our biggest supporter, I gotta say. I mean, you're always sharing our stuff out, but really appreciate that. Eddie Haskell, it's really good to see you too, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. 30 miles an hour. Are you sure? How fast is a horse? Oh, Bobby said that bears can run 30 miles an hour. Oh, I bet they can run probably faster than that. Some of those bears, they get moving. 30 is pretty fast, though.
But it's uphill, I bet. They
Mm-hmm.
can run fast uphill.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter what the incline is. They just move. They see something they want.
If you're going downhill, you're okay. They can't run downhill.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Is that real? Is that a real fact? Can bears?
I say they're going to get your ass going uphill or downhill.
Downhill.
But they say they can't run good down steep hills. So
There's a well-known myth. This is on YellowstoneBearWorld.com. There's a well-known myth that says that if you're being chased by a bear, then you should run downhill because bears can't run downhill. Bears can outrun you no matter where you try to run. They can run just as fast downhill as they can uphill. They can actually run over 37 miles an hour. Ba-doom-tsh. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. Uphill, downhill, sideways. If they want you,
I've seen them run. They're
you're
fast.
screwed. You're in danger. Yeah, if a bear wants you, you're in danger. I was thinking about that the other day as a random fact, but there's like nowhere you could go that a bear can't go. I mean, if you're gonna fly up a tree, bear's gonna chase you.
When I stand on a stump and put my hands in the air and make myself bigger than them, they go away. That does work. I know that works from like 50 yards, 40 yards away. I've never tried it with them right in front of me.
Right.
I'll shoot then.
Yep. Yeah. That's what they say is make yourself look bigger, but damn. I don't know. I don't know if that would be my first reaction. My first reaction would be to...
If you could hold that pose with one running at you, I'd be impressed.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Nope.
And you can't go up a tree either because they will beat you to the top.
Yeah. I guess if you knew that was your only chance is to just stand there with your hands up. I'm either going to die or I'm not.
Guns. I don't go out there without, especially during rifle season. I have handguns and a rifle.
That was another thing I meant to tell him is I didn't have a gun on me when I was up there camping.
Are you crazy?
No gun. I had a knife on me, but that was about it. No gun. I was just trusting nature. Trusting nature not to kill me.
I had 2 guns. Man, don't do no good if you don't wake up to use them. That bear could have just bitten me right in the head, man.
Mm-hmm. Eddie right here says, if it's black, go back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, good night. Yeah, a polar bear, I don't think you have much chance, really. I heard they're the only animal that will actively hunt you. Like, they'll spend a couple days tracking you and watching where your habits and stuff.
Yup.
Nuts. Well, if nobody else wants to come on, and I don't mind closing her up early. My stomach's been growling this whole podcast.
You don't need to eat.
I'm starving, dude. I don't need to eat. I could probably live off my body fat for the next 4 days. But I don't want to. My head's bigger than theirs, so bears fear me. Hey, that's one advantage. You know, next time Dave gives you hell for having a big head, be like, pfft. At least I don't have to run from bears.
Well, did you drop the link in here or something? If someone wants to come on, let them come on.
I'll drop the link here, yeah. That'll give everyone a chance to hang out with us if they want. Copy, paste. Yeah, if anybody in the chat wants to hang out with us. Listen, Melissa, don't make me put you in timeout like that. I've only had one other person that I've had to put in timeout, and that was a troll. That's a new thing, people. There's a new troll going around that they type that it's like VAS dot something. I've seen a lot of people do it in like Dave's chat, and I just saw it in my chat this morning. And when you Google it, it says, don't click on any link that has that. Like, there's been people commenting, like, if you see this, don't click on it. If it's a link, definitely don't click on it. Hey, what's up, Cosmic? How's it going?
Hey. Clicking on shit all the time.
Yeah, this Vartech.
I'm a one-woman team.
One-woman team? Are you out there?
I chased a bear out of my yard.
Where do you live?
Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin? Okay. So you got a black bear up there?
Yep. I opened my door.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit. You cut out. Oh, there she goes. She just dropped out. Damn. Yeah, anyway, this Vartech that Oracle's put up, it's been going around. Anytime you see it, just block them if you have a wrench. Who else? Who else is in here?
Yeah, I didn't. I've never seen it. No, I didn't notice it anyway.
Yeah, it'll be like var.tec or tech. And then it's just trying to get you to Google it and go to the website. There's a website that's called this. And apparently if you go to the website, if you actually go to it, it'll just, I don't know if it just hacks into your computer or if you just voluntarily give all your information to them or what's going on. But, yep, that's your PSA from the day here at the Chad Smith Podcast. Don't click on Vartech if you see it. Yeah. Nobody else wants to come in here unless Eddie Haskell wants to come in.
Have you ever seen the show Mountain Men? It's like 4 different guys. There's an old man on there that's he traps animals and skins them, tans the hides and sells the hides. That's what he does. There is a big ass bear in his yard. This old man grabs a stick and chases this bear, and that's all he's got is a stick. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Really?
And he's like telling the bear, get out of here. The bear turns around and everything, and he just keeps going at him, swinging the stick.
Jeez.
It's a big stick. But man, the dude's only like 5 feet tall. And I mean, can barely walk. He's all bow-legged from he's old, man. He's got to be 80 years old. And he's chasing a bear out of the yard with a stick.
Some of those guys are so hard. Yeah. Some of those guys are so damn hard-headed. They're like, I've lived my life. You want to come into my yard, you're going to have to fight me.
And the cameraman, you could tell he's just like, oh, no. Like, he's...
Yeah. Oh, no. Eddie says, may your moccasins make many footprints in happy snow while a rainbow rides on your shoulder. Another great show, guys. Must run out. Peace. Eddie's the man. Thanks for hanging out, Eddie. You are the man. Getting up early to hang out with us.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Great, thanks. Now I gotta click it just because I have to do stupid things. Fap, that's fine, but you gotta report back and let us know what happens. Does your computer
Go to
blow
the
up?
library, click it.
Yep. Click it. Go to the library and click it. Go to City Hall. Tell them you need to use a computer. Oh, man. Nobody wants to come in here? I'll post it one more time in case Cassie wants to come in here and hang out with us for a minute. Before I go get some breakfast. Oh, no, I got food here to make. I'll make food here. Huh?
You don't need breakfast.
No, I need dinner.
Letterkenny.
Oh, Letterkenny. I should start watching some of that.
Oh, man.
I just watched the short clips on YouTube.
That's funny stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, bud. Sure is there, bud. Chad, give us a reading. Oh, I don't know. I'm very bad at that so far. I can't do readings right now. Unless Sonny wants to pick a number. Did I already do that for you?
Nope.
Oh, I did one for Big Willie. I'll try to do it for you. See what happens. Cassie got me these cards, so I can't tell her no. She's in here. Look at that. Oh, now she's in here, too. Now she's going to yell at me. Hi, Cassie. Good morning.
Oh, my gosh. There it is.
Yeah, I love this deck. It's really cool.
You should read me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whip out your deck and show us,
All
man.
right, I'll whip out my deck right here live on YouTube.
He's showing us his deck.
Yep. So how do I do this? Because I'm not good at having one fly out at me. I have to just shuffle them.
Just shuffle them and then pick. Just like spread them out and then pick one.
Oh, okay. Rather than having someone pick a number?
I mean, you could do that if you want to. You could do it either way.
I shuffle them like I'm playing euchre.
Oh, me? I shuffle them.
Hit me.
Hit!
Woo! Am I your first? Oh, no, you read your cousin.
My cousin and Big Willie so far.
Damn it.
Damn it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Then I'll spread them out. And what do I do? Just pick one?
Yeah.
Okay. I pick that one. I'll put the rest of them over here.
The way you want to do it. If you want to do the number thing like me, or if you want to like spread them out like that, that's what I used to do. And then you just kind of feel around and then you pick the one.
Okay.
And you.
Well, that's the first time I've done it that way, but we'll see how it works. See how she goes. How she goes, yo. You got Graveyard, Unnecessary Fear.
Ooh. Heck yeah.
All right, so now I got to go to the front here. Graveyard, 33. Graveyard for Cassie. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, here, this is my question for you. I forgot to ask you this. At the top of the page, there's like a little small paragraph and a different lettering.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to read that before or after?
Whatever do you want to do?
Okay, I'll read it before. The stones they mark the eternal resting place, yet the spirits they are walking, and they are ready for the chase.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Today's modern graveyards are restful places, normally highly manicured and very well set out. While they can be places of profound sadness, few are the creepy gothic places of old, yet they still hold an undercurrent of fear and seem frightening places. Due to countless stories of haunted graveyards, the thought of walking through cemeteries evokes fear in many of us. We imagine zombies and ghosts rising from the graves, and bad spirits hiding out, waiting to harm an unsuspecting living person who walks by. The idea of being at a graveyard after dark, or worse, at midnight, is the stuff of dares and nightmares. But this isn't the way with every culture. On the Mexican Day of the Dead, whole families picnic on the graves of their loved ones who have passed. Children play upon the graves, people play music, drink wine, and share food in all of the companies of the dead. Graveyard dust is used as an ingredient in protective spells, not in curses. Pull this card and know that you fear unnecessarily. Things are not as they seem, and you can overcome your obstacles. The anxieties you have, although real, should be put aside before they... Oh, this is a 2-pager. Before they haunt you long term. Instead, trust that you know the correct next steps and that you will act upon them.
Beautiful.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I loved it.
Wow, it worked.
See how nice that feels to read? Doesn't it feel so awesome?
Yeah, my first question is always like, did that resonate? Did that make sense? Is that
I say that too.
That's cool.
Resonate? Heck yeah. That's what I say too. I'm very proud.
Thank you. Thank you for the cards.
You're welcome.
And then what are you supposed to say when the reading is done? Like, I've closed this reading out.
I just say like.
That's your reading, and I'm Chad Smith.
Yeah, there you go. You know what Big Willie always says? What does he say? Ta-da!
Yeah, ta-da!
So just make it yours, Chad. Make it yours.
All right.
You got this. You did awesome.
Got it. Thanks.
Danny said he says tatas.
Does he?
Tatas.
Tatas. Danny's got that voice, man. I love when he does reading.
I love it. Now Sonny can sing to us.
No,
Yeah, Sonny, let's switch this over to like a 2 a.m. type stream.
Oh man. Catch my second win for that.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Oh yeah, there we go.
We're not live, right? We're not. Okay.
We're live. We're live.
Ah, damn it. Sonny, I went back and watched like our first episode, and I'm clicking and clicking. I'm like, I think we're live, and you're like, we've been live, buddy.
Yeah.
We've been live for like.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Feels like a year ago. It's so funny.
Go back and watch those first ones.
Yep. It's pretty funny to watch. Bobby, what are you doing, Bobby? You just hanging out at home? You want to call in, or you busy today? I know she was doing some work on her house last time we talked to her.
I talked to Kara today. She said she might come on the show Friday, so she's gonna try.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
The timing would be.
Then she told me she loved my accent.
Really? I bet that's strange to hear.
It's very strange to hear.
Wow.
Oh man, she's got the most awesome accent, guys. And she's from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, when she calls in, you're like, "Whoa, you're the real deal."
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange to hear. I don't think I've ever had anybody say that to me.
It sounded funny to me.
That laugh, though.
You're making fun of my laugh.
Melissa told her to.
Oh, goodness.
Melissa says, ta-da usually works. Ta-da.
Yeah, ta-da.
Thin Lizzie, good morning.
Thin Lizzie. Hi, Thin Lizzie.
How's it going? Good morning.
Isn't your mom in here?
She was earlier. I haven't seen her in a minute.
It's because you didn't say hi to her.
Oh, I said hi to her.
Oh, okay.
I said, hey, Mom. And then I put in parentheses, Annie.
That laugh. That laugh, though.
Yeah, that laugh, though. Oh, what else are we going to talk about today? Yeah, Melissa can hop on.
Get up here, Melissa.
Yeah, don't be scared. Nobody watches this podcast.
That's right. I was going to see you with no pants on.
Sarah! There she is.
You're
She's going to try it
already-
again.
There I am.
Woohoo!
Are you out driving around again?
Yeah. Still.
Delivering that paper.
Hey, Sherry, on 2 minutes on what video? 2 minute mark on which video? This one?
Something poops?
Yeah, she must have meant pops.
Say
Something
hi.
strange that poops in about 2 minute mark.
It might have been my back if it was actually.
Cassie, didn't I just tell you you have unnecessary fears?
No. I'm just kidding, yeah.
Wait, she just told you that?
Yeah.
Really? So that...
Yeah.
Oh, weird. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
What
did.
did you tell
Not
you?
crazy.
Who told you that?
I did.
Oh, Sarah. Sarah told me.
I did.
And then, that's crazy.
Sarah told you that you have unnecessary fears, and then I just gave you a reading telling you that you have unnecessary fears.
That's creepy.
That's weird. The universe is telling you to just stop being scared and just go out there and do some ghost hunting.
I did
Man,
this.
don't be
Sarah.
hunting ghosts. They'll kick you right out of where you're at.
Yeah, that's true.
Roll the footage, Chad.
I love
Play-
Sunny's videos. Yeah, play Sunny's.
You can play the.
Oh, that beautiful bean footage.
Yep.
Roll it. Where do I find those at?
Jamie,
I won't-
pull that up. Jamie.
Young Jamie, can you pull that up, please?
I could watch Sunny do this all day long.
Yeah, well, it ain't happening again.
Come on. I love it.
It's the video that's like a minute long, the last one from the barracks. And
Oh,
5
okay.
seconds, 5 seconds into this clip, the thud you guys hear comes from the room behind me, and it stopped me in my tracks.
He got scared.
To say the least. And then Big Willie said, "Did you see the handprint on the wall?" I was like, "No, not till I watched the video." But I haven't went back to see if it's there when I walk through, which it has to be. I just haven't went and looked.
Telling you, you could do so good doing those videos.
Oh man, not for me.
Let's see. Download.
I don't know. If you have me
There
up
we go.
here, I can tell you about all my crazy theories, and everybody can be like, "What is she talking about?" It's great. But I will say, if you watch Blood So Said So, thank you,
Mhm.
Chad.
Oh, yeah.
Him and I have a same views on.
You have the same what?
I know we have the same views on a lot of things, and I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Yes, finally, somebody."
Man, I wish. Technology is not on your side this morning, unfortunately. We got Sonny's video up, though.
Yes.
I really gotta pee. I've seen all these toilets. Oh no. Nope. Oh hell no. Something just. Man. Well, now I really gotta pee.
That's not something you hear on a ghost hunting or a ghost video.
Something just moved or fell over in there. We just walked through there. There's nothing in there. It's so scary.
I could not be in there by
So way
myself.
too scary.
It's way too scary.
I love that.
That's scary stuff there at night.
I loved it. Now I really gotta pee.
I gotta pull up this video that my cousin sent me. I gotta find out where she sent it. Sherry, did you send that in a text message or in a... Trying to find it here. Maybe she'll put it in the chat. Sherry, I need to know where that link was at that you sent me. Oh, Bobby. Thanks for hanging out. You gotta go, huh?
Bobby.
Hopefully we started your morning off right. Just enough woo.
A little woo.
Just enough woo for the morning.
Some woo!
Fab said, Chad has become too powerful.
We must harness it in. Yep, I got Oracle cards now, man.
Heck yeah!
Dangerous.
Did you get the Halloween one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Love those.
So cool. The dark cards, I like them.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
in the
so
chat.
cool.
It's
Oh, I
fun.
should see it, because you can't, unless you're a mod, you can't, actually, here, I'll just make you a mod real quick. Okay, I guess I can't. Let's see. Sherry, I gotta make you a mod before you can post links, but I'll do that real quick. Let's see. I gotta pull up. Studio.
I just ordered all new decks.
You ordered what?
New decks.
Oh my god, I need more decks.
I have my Cosmic CUNT Tarot coming this week.
What the heck?
Yeah. Oh, girl. I found this girl on Etsy. She makes amazing decks. Dude,
Did she
that
just-
deck was made for me. I'm telling you. So good. So amazing. And, actually, Tangy found them for me. But they weren't going to be back in stock until June, so I messaged the girl that makes them, and she's like, oh, I just found it laying around yesterday. I'm like, what? Sign me up.
I'll have to get one of those cards.
And then I ordered the new Disney villain. Are they oracles or tarot? One of them. The Disney villain ones. They're so cool. I think they're tarot. And then I got this weird. Yeah. You'll see. You'll see.
Heck yeah.
I'm very excited.
I can't get this link to work.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to open that link that Sherry just sent in the chat. Open link in new tab. It's a dead link. Okay.
Oh, a deck pillow.
Deck pillow.
He's got a pillow.
Let's see here. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. That's the one that we're on. Go to the link. Oh,
You're gonna shut us down.
Sherry, this is the link you sent me. It's A politician thing? She said it 2 minutes. Hold on. I'm not really supposed to play this on YouTube, so let me just see if I can see what she's seeing first before I play it.
Yeah, you'll get a copyright.
I have that deck too, Diesel Girl. I think I'm going to get rid of my tarot and just do Oracle.
What's the difference between the two?
Yeah.
Tarot's hard.
It's not
It's
hard.
like intuition.
Oh, it's more intuitive?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you read it, though. Like you can learn the card.
It gives me anxiety.
It doesn't have to be just intuitive based. Some of us use it intuitive based.
I do like my witch tarot, though. I love my witch tarot.
You need like a good basic tarot, like something that's easy.
Well, that's my witch deck. My witch deck is pretty easy. And all my oracle decks, like my 63 decks of oracles, are easy.
I can teach you how to do tarot. Easy.
All right, Sherry, I just watched that, and that is really creepy. I'm afraid, though, that if I put it on YouTube, I'm going to get flagged for copyright, though. So I'll play that for everybody once the live is over, but I don't know what that is that you just showed me. That's creepy. Witch's Wisdom Tarot.
These ones are easy.
78 card deck.
Yeah, I like that.
So you have to be more intuitive, like it gives you just like a basic reading, and then you have to come up with the rest of it?
No. So with
tarot,
the difference with tarot versus oracle. So oracle cards are made deck by deck. Each card has a different meaning in all of the different decks, right? In tarot, you have like your major arcana and your minor arcana. So the major arcana are like the Fool, Death, the Tower, the World, all of those, right? And then you have like the sword, the clubs, or whatever you want to call them, the pentacles, and the cups. And each of those has ace through king or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Basically. So each individual card in every deck has the same meaning. So if you have the Witch's Oracle or Witch's Tarot versus like whatever tarot deck you have, the Two of Cups is always going to be the same. All of them are in major arcana, they're going to be the same meaning. But a lot of people do intuitive readings. But that's why I say tarot isn't as hard as everybody thinks it is. It's just learning the meanings of each card. And that's the worst.
Yeah. Then Lizzie said that it takes her about an hour to do a tarot reading. I'm still learning what the cards mean. I have a book I love, A Little Bit of Tarot, Intro to Reading Tarot.
Oh, I have a
good resource.
Of tarot books too.
If you learn the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it is the basis for most decks. Good to learn with. Oh, we're getting some good information.
Sonny, what deck do you have?
Yeah, Sonny.
I don't.
You have your intuition.
Yep, I just get the feeling sometimes.
That's the best.
It's pretty interesting that you were told, that she told you that you have like fears that are, what'd she say?
Yeah, what did you say, Sarah? Unknown fears?
I think she meant like fears that you don't need to be fearful of.
Oh, I can't help it. That is neat, huh?
That is neat. It's like the universe is like, even with this new guy that doesn't even know what he's doing. This Oracle reader guy over here, Chad Smith.
Well, apparently you do, because you said the same thing and it resonated. So
yeah, that's pretty crazy how that works.
Yeah, it is.
Unnecessary fears. That's what Diesel Girl said.
Oh, unnecessary fears.
Do you know this Diesel Girl? I've never seen her before.
No, I don't know her.
Well, hi, Diesel Girl. Welcome to the
chat. Melissa wants a card.
How's it going?
Oh, you're new. Awesome. Oh, Melissa wants a card. Oh boy, here we go.
You're gonna get this a lot.
This is what I do now, huh?
You're gonna get this a lot.
This is my new life.
Give me a card. Mm-hmm.
This is just what I do now. I used to make bolts for a living, and now I just read Oracle cards.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Hey, D-Ocean. How's it going? Oh, she's talking to Rob. She must be at the beginning of the... She's in the chat commenting, but she's probably watching the beginning of the video. Because Rob is not in here anymore. What a good interview, though. That was a cool conversation with Rob.
Chad gets rough with his cards.
They're really stiff. It's a stiff deck. This is one stiff deck. All right, I'm spreading them out, even though this is a really slippery table, so they're not really... Okay. All right, Melissa, I'm going to pick this one right here. That's yours. All right, we'll set that aside. Put all these back. One thing I've really figured out now that I've been doing this for a couple times is that I need to brush up on my reading skills. I don't really do a whole lot of long-term reading anymore. Okay, forgiveness, reducing burden is the one you got. Forgiveness, huh? Let's see, where is that? Number 30. Forgiveness. A wrong is done, consequences you cannot deny, but to hold a grudge is too dark poison and think that the other person will die.
So true.
Being a cold season festival, Halloween is the perfect time to pause and think about how things actually are in our lives and what heavy burdens we do not wish to carry through these harder, leaner times. I'm having a hard time seeing this damn page. Some of this heavy-heartedness may relate to old relationships or grievances. Some may relate to negative feelings we hold on to tightly about others and even a lack of compassion for the mistakes we have ourselves made. It is said that it takes a big person to apologize, but in many ways it takes an even bigger person to forgive. When we hold grudges, the negative energy is incredibly toxic. It is like drinking a poison and expecting the other unforgiven person to die. While we may even harbor feelings for revenge, and to be honest, that does feel good for a while, it is important that we move those feelings along to forgiveness and release as soon as possible for our own health and well-being. If you have chosen this card, think about who it is that you could be forgiving, and that includes yourself. So I hope that resonated with you there.
I like that.
Who was that for? Oh my God.
Melissa.
Melissa. Jeez, I forgot.
That was for
That was for Melissa.
She's so on point.
So on point? Excellent. That's good to hear. All right, I'm done for that for the morning because I can't read. She says, damn it, I don't want to forgive him. My dad. Thank you, Chad. That was on point. Excellent. Forgive your dad. Life is short. Go buy him some lunch.
Even if you only forgive him for yourself.
Right.
Amen to that.
Yep. Closure.
Very much so. Even if you don't speak to him, you say, listen, I forgive you. I can't forget about whatever it is that you did, but I can forgive you. For me.
Yep. Just so you don't have a loose end.
Yep. Because then your internal self can let go of it.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%. I gave you one, right, Sonny?
I didn't hear you. What? Say again?
Did I already give you one?
Nope.
No. Give it to him. Give it to him.
Cassie took your spot, huh?
Yep. That's okay.
I'll give you one.
I'm sorry.
Then we'll close it up. Sonny's the last one.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just don't let it happen again.
Right?
Yeah, you and your selfish ways, Cassie. My goodness.
I'm gonna get rough with my deck again.
Oh.
Yep. Holy smokes. Everything just flew across the table.
Yeah. Shuffle them. I love it when they fly through. Great.
Look at him shuffle his deck. Come on, come on.
I saw that, Sony. What'd you say?
I love it. Oh.
Speaking of my Disney Villas deck, it's shit.
That one stood out to me. Let's see.
I was just teasing.
About what?
You shuffling your deck.
Oh. Well, they're going to be wore out by the time I'm done with them.
Oh.
You guys are something else. All right.
Here without you.
Sonny got the jack-o'-lantern.
Oh.
Protection. Jack-o'-lantern is 39. All right, Sonny, if this resonates, don't be lying to me now. 39.
Get it right.
Oh, geez, yours is a 2-pager, too. Oh, boy. Here we go. All right. This is for Sonny. Oh, Jack, let me carve my protection. Shine your fire outwards, evil rejection and reflection. Halloween wouldn't be the same without the carving of pumpkins into scary jack-o'-lanterns. Glowing I cannot say this word. Glowing menacingly from porches, dinner tables, and porches everywhere. Jacks actually have a rich history and a spiritual bent. The original term for jack-o'-lanterns was a will-o'-the-wisp, an old British term. The will-o'-the-wisp was a small bundle of sticks used as a flame or torch. The Celts and the Irish, those living in the Scotland Highlands, all carved winter vegetables, not just pumpkins, but also parsnips, carrots, and beets. The time around the Samayan Halloween was, of course, when the Fae and the goblins were said to be roaming wild, and so their lanterns were intended to be both scary, scaring off the undesirable, and to light the way in the dark. Today, carving pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns has become an art in itself and a true icon of Halloween. Intricate designs, both scary and funny, can be found in almost every home and celebrates the holiday. Both electric light and candles now illuminate the inside of the lanterns. Know that you are protected and that you are capable of creating the life that you want, and that the universe supports you in this should Jack shine his light upon you. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones you have or to establish new ones.
That's good, man.
Is that a good one?
Yeah.
There you go. $5.
How'd you pick that one?
What'd you say?
I said, how'd you pick that one?
I just laid them out, and whichever one was screaming at me, I picked it up.
See? You got it.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Didn't even pick a number or anything.
Now I want to see you read. Now
so
you're going to do Dave.
Dave Scott. Think he's awake?
Oh, yeah. He's at hockey practice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he probably had to get up and take his kid to practice. Cool. We've done it all on this podcast. We've done everything now.
What was that?
I said we did it all on this podcast. We had Bigfoot Michigan Rob on here, telling ghost stories and Bigfoot stories. Done oracle readings.
Man.
You know, all there's left to do is sing, Sonny.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
Sing it's a Christmas song.
Oh my Lord, Melissa.
We'll get in
Somebody
trouble.
put her in timeout. Jeez. My mom watches this.
That's awesome.
Come on.
Hi, Mom. That's Melissa. You'll get to know her. She's crazy.
But you did manhandle it. Just saying.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to, you know. Sometimes it wants to fight back, and you got to really just show it who's boss.
Yeah.
The deck of cards, you know what I'm saying? When you first get them, they're pretty stiff.
Oh my God. That's funny.
They are very
My
strong.
Lord, Melissa. Melissa just takes it.
I've had some pretty loose decks when I got it.
Oh.
They weren't
Wow.
difficult.
Somebody been handling them a little bit too much before you got to them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Quit handling my decks.
Get your hands off my decks.
Uh,
My
I
mom's
like
bringing
mine.
you waffles.
what's up with that?
We're going to have a chat. I haven't had waffles brought to me. What's up, Captain Keystone? You finally woke up, huh? Welcome to the chat. Hey, we start this at 8 o'clock in the morning, just so you know for next time. You're a little late. A little late. Try to get better with that.
It's all
I'm
right.
messing with you.
It's almost 8 here.
Oh, it's almost time to start the podcast over there in California?
Almost start the show.
Man,
Right on.
I'll have to pull a double. Maybe me and my Oracle deck can come to your podcast. She likes me more. I doubt it.
Yeah, you guys are
possible.
gonna have to come raid with me.
Fap says slam it in the car door usually works for my stiff deck.
Sheesh, stop.
Jeez, oh Pete. Slamming it in the door? Man, you're going to lose your deck if you keep doing that.
You can
Owie.
break your deck that way.
You're going to break your deck.
I was scared I would dent the car door.
That was a good one.
Oh no.
That was good.
That's
Man.
interesting.
All right. I feel like if we keep going down this road, it's going to get...
yeah.
I'm going to have to put this video into a different category.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Well,
I think it was Melissa.
Yeah.
I gotta put a little bit of blame on you.
Well, thank you for having me up, Chad.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with
funny.
us. I don't think you ever get any sleep.
I do.
Yeah, that's how
I just-
I am too. I sleep when everyone is busy doing other stuff.
I set my alarm for the podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Oh, let's stick Sunny's in there again. Before you guys go.
What?
Gonna stick your link in the chat again before you guys go.
The StreamYard link or the link to the channel?
To his channel. Why would I stick your StreamYard link in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
There, see? Okay, guys. Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, Paranormal Chop Shop on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
You
I
too.
think we know who we're going to have on this week, but we're not for sure.
Cass jumped off.
How did we just lose both of them at the same time? That's crazy.
I think we lost one, and then Cass hung up on us.
Sherry's my cousin. I'm going to give her a private reading. I'll call her on video chat. I'm going to call you after, Sherry. D Ocean wants a card. Man, I'll have to do this again over the weekend, maybe. I have to do some local
an after
readings.
party today, or are we closing this down so you can eat?
We'll probably shut her down. You look pretty tired.
I'm a little tired.
All right. Well, maybe we'll... Hey, I'll do what Dave does. If you could just stick around with me until after the break, and then I'll give you a proper goodbye. Proper good night.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, on YouTube for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday, 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Don't have a guest lined up yet for Thursday, but I'm trying to get somebody to come on here for Thursday. So if you know anybody, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
And Paranormal Chop Shop on Friday.
Paranormal Chop Shop. Kara might be stopping by. 6 o'clock PST.
Oh, that'll be fun. It'll be awesome.
What's yours? EST?
Yep.
Is it 9?
Eastern
9
Standard
EST.
Time. And be sure to check out all the ones that support us. You know, you got Dave Scott at Spaced Out Radio every day of the week. Dave's on Monday through Friday. And we got Lynn Wallington on Saturday and Sunday with an after party with Gemma Jade and John Hudson and Big Willie Townsend.
That's right. And we also got UFO Garage with Ben and Joe.
Yep.
And Big Willie. He's still in there somewhere.
Yeah, he's still over there till they fire him.
Yeah, till he gets bumped out of the van again.
I don't think he's had possession of that van in a long time. Melissa's got the keys to that thing.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a long goodbye, but it's always hard saying goodbye to YouTube.
Yep.
But we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.